Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. The first hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome into Sports Time on a Thursday. Bryant Dacus and Jay Morgan Harder. No Brett Norsworthy for the rest of this week or next week. He's taking some much-needed time off before college football season gets rolling here in a couple of weeks, and he gets started with all of his work pre- and post-game with Ole Miss. But we're here with you for the next 3 hours, and it's a very busy day because just about an hour ago, the NBA released the schedule for this upcoming season. So we now know the Grizzlies schedule in addition to opening day, Christmas Day, the rivalry week that NBA started a couple of weeks ago. But for the Grizzlies, an interesting schedule this week. I know a lot of people have talked a lot about what does the schedule look like before Ja returns, how many national television games are there, all of that stuff. But we now know where everything stands, and for Tiger basketball fans, getting this schedule in front of us will kind of help figure out when a lot of the Tiger home games will take place, seeing as obviously the Grizzlies get kind of the first dibs on home games and dates. So hopefully here in the next week or so, a couple weeks, we'll start knowing when all of those Tiger home conference games will take place. So it's a good day. But
at least we have the NBA schedule, Brian.
That's what I'm saying. We're going to get into the NBA schedule.
Thank goodness.
Thank goodness. It's been some stuff was leaked on the national scene. We got, what was it, a couple days ago, the in-season tournament, all of those dates and games. But now we have the full thing in front of us.
I wouldn't call it a leak. Call it a slow roll.
You think so?
Slow roll, because the NBA was behind.
That's true. That's
slow roll.
Yeah, you're right. A slow roll the last week and a half or so.
That's one of these new age marketing terms.
Is slow roll?
Yeah, public relations.
Slow your roll.
One of these slow rolls, and then there's
fast roll,
soft,
speed roll.
Soft open. No, not a
that
soft.
That is a soft open.
No, but
that's
there's
like
soft open.
Businesses.
But also in like social media, it's like a
a soft launch or something like that?
Yeah, like if a girl gets a new boyfriend, like she'll show like his hand.
Oh.
And like businesses use that on social media as well, like a
soft debut.
I guess like a soft launch or whatever. Soft. I don't know.
I don't know what you'd call it.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Anyway.
But looking at the Grizzlies' schedule, they'll start the season with back-to-back home games against the Pelicans and the Nuggets. So you'll see the defending champs in the second game. That's going to be on October 27th. The first game will be Wednesday, October 25th at 7 o'clock. That Denver game on a Friday night is going to be a 6 p.m. tip-off, so very early for that one in terms of kind of what time these games are usually at. A little later, in early November, you'll get back-to-back games at Portland, which is interesting. One of those games will be the play-in tournament that we talked about. And your first national televised game, which I know a lot of people have been talking about, isn't until that Black Friday game we talked about the other day that's on NBA TV. The really national TV game you'll get is on December 1st at Dallas. That one will be on ESPN.
I think Eli said this morning that, or maybe he said it the other day. I feel like Eli said it. Maybe I'm misquoting him. If he didn't say it, I apologize. But I feel like I heard Eli say something to the effect of, do not be surprised when you don't see the Grizzlies have national TV games. It is that overt. The league is about stars. It's nothing against Memphis, but if Ja's not playing, they're not watching, so they don't want to come here and watch those games.
Well, I mean, you kind of look at the before Ja Morant comes back, it's 3, I guess you could say, national televised games. I don't even know if I would consider NBA. I guess it is national television for NBA TV, but I mean, not everybody gets not everybody gets NBA TV. It's not like ESPN or TNT, but you look at before Ja returns, the only national television games you get is NBA TV ESPN, and then a third one that's on NBA TV. So only 3 games before Ja comes back. And then the first game that Ja Morant is eligible to play in will be Tuesday night, December 19th. The Grizzlies will be in New Orleans to play the Pelicans, and that game's on TNT. So the NBA is looking at that game as his first game back. They're thinking that, there's been a lot of conversation about will he play that first game back, or will he need some time to kind of get acclimated, kind of get back in shape before he plays. But the NBA is certainly thinking that he'll play that first game at New Orleans, and they're kind of putting it on the big stage of TNT.
Get his legs underneath him, as it were.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, I've heard some people say maybe he plays in that game, but comes off the bench, doesn't start. I think that's probably likely.
You know what's weird about the schedule is
What's weird
the
about the
Grizzlies play all 4 games with the Mavericks before January 10th.
That's a good catch.
Isn't that strange?
That is very strange.
I mean, that's very early in the season,
So
January 10th.
you'll see a lot of
People
Dallas.
just started watching it by the time
Yeah.
January 10th comes around, most people.
That's a good point.
And they will have already played Luka Doncic all of the times they're going to play them.
Wow.
Interesting.
That is very interesting.
Thanks, Bryant.
No, I'm serious. I didn't mean that as
No, I didn't take it as such.
Whatever. But some other things. Looking at the schedule, you're going to get a handful of long road trips. The first one being in late December when you go to Atlanta, to New Orleans, to Denver, and to LA to play the Clippers. The start of January, you've got a few road games on the West Coast, kind of that West Coast trip that we're used to.
Love a good West Coast trip.
Do you? I don't.
Sure, why not?
Those are the 9:30
I do in
games,
baseball because it separates like the teams that I like to watch from the other teams I like to watch. And so maybe I like it in basketball too. Why not?
Sure, why not? But you'll get that kind of second West Coast trip, it looks like, late or early in January. They'll go and play the Lakers at Phoenix, at Dallas. MLK Day game this year is going to be at 5 p.m. on TNT against Golden State on January 15th. So that'll be a fun one. I know kind of a lot of people view Golden State as kind of a rival for the Grizzlies. So, cool to be able to get them here for the MLK Day game. You'll also see Golden State at home again in February, early February the 2nd. And then they end the season, 5 of their last 6 games are at home. They'll end the season at home against Detroit, Philadelphia, San Antonio. They'll go on the road to Cleveland and then back at home with 2 really good games, at home against the Lakers and then at home against Denver. So the second game of the season is against the defending champ, the Denver Nuggets, and your last game of the season is at home against the Denver Nuggets. So.
Well, I think we're already here. I think we should do W's and L's.
For
All right, game one.
For the whole season?
Game one.
Against the Pelicans?
WL.
At home, W.
I think W. Game 2.
Loss.
Who is that against?
The Nuggets.
The Nuggets?
Defending champs.
On the road?
No, at home.
Oh, that's a win.
A W. Okay.
That's a win.
I like it.
All right. Game 3.
At Washington. Win.
The Wizards?
Wizards.
I don't know. New look Wizards, though. They have Jordan Poole, right?
New look Wizards, but it's only third game of the season. Maybe they're still trying to get
Washington
things
on the
figured
road.
out. Tyus Jones in Washington.
Yeah, the revenge game.
Oh, that's a
no
revenge game
Ja.
for Stones. Maybe a loss.
Lost to the Wizards.
Okay.
All right, 2-1. Game 4.
Home against Dallas. It's at home. But you don't got Ja. Loss.
Yeah, and Luke is going to be ready to play, but it's at home. I'm going to say a win.
Okay.
I'm going to say a win.
Okay, 3-1 then. At Utah. Win.
No, Utah's good, man. You got Baby Dirk out there. Lauri Markkanen's playing really well.
Yeah, but
Donovan Mitchell's out there scoring. No, that's not where
Donovan
Donovan
Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell's in Cleveland.
He's in Cleveland.
I'm giving it a win.
Who else plays for the Jazz?
Lauri Markkanen.
I'm drawing a blank.
A Walker Kessler.
Comes off the bench, though.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't think of who
I've
else
got
out
Jordan
there.
Clarkson.
Jordan Clarkson's
Colin
a good one.
Sexton, of course.
Colin Sexton, of course. He was in that trade with Cleveland. I'm going to give him a win. At Utah, I'll give it a win.
I'll give him a win.
Okay. So what does that make him?
Oh, they got John Collins, too. No, that's a loss.
Okay.
They're
Loss.
losing. No, that's a win.
Okay, it's a win.
That's a win.
Okay.
That's a loss.
It's a loss.
You know, it really could go either way.
A toss-up.
This is the first
Wow,
one we've
first
gotten
toss-up
to
game.
so far that I'm like, this game could go either way.
Toss-up game. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
At Portland. What happens with Dame? I mean, I don't know yet.
But it's a long ways away.
Sure is. I'll give him a loss. Because still, even I
think
like,
they win.
Really?
I think they win.
I like that Portland team even without Dame.
I think they win in Portland.
All right. At Portland.
You just did that.
Back-to-back games.
Oh, back-to-back.
Oh, but there's a day
split.
in between. There's a day in between,
split.
so it's not back-to-back days.
If I have Memphis,
back-to-back games.
If I have Memphis winning the first game, Portland's winning the second one. There's no doubt about that.
I was thinking Portland would win the first game. They're there for a couple days. They're now acclimated. They win the second game.
I'm going to do it the opposite way.
All right, I like it. Miami at home.
Oh, the Heat. But they're not a regular season team.
Good point.
Jimmy Butler, he doesn't like to get excited for these games that aren't not playoffs ready to go. It's not the same as the Eastern Conference Finals for Jimmy. It's not playoff. It's not game. What game are we on? It's not game
8.
It's not game 8 of the season, Jimmy. It's playoff, Jimmy. And for that reason, I'm going to have to say the Grizzlies beat the crap out of them at home.
Wow. Utah.
At Utah or at home against Utah?
Oh, I should also point out this is their second in-season tournament game, so more on the line.
I think they lose to Utah.
All right.
They're not beating Utah. Utah's too good right now.
At the Clippers. On a Sunday afternoon game.
Oh, Sleepy Sunday. That rhymes for a reason. Clippers win that one. There's no doubt about that.
So it's sleepy for the Grizzlies, not sleepy for the
No.
Clippers?
Only for the road team. They slept in their beds last night, and that's
point.
a factor as well.
Good
The
point.
Clippers slept in their beds, and it's a Sleepy Sunday. I mean, I think anybody would tell you the Grizzlies don't show up for that game. Clippers win.
I like that.
What's my record at this point? Are you keeping track of that?
Somebody
keeping track of that?
Somebody's keeping track of it.
Anybody got to. Someone's got to be keeping track of that.
They're 6-4 right now.
Are you making that up?
No. At the Lakers. They're 10-4 at the Lakers. No, 6-4 at the Lakers. Game 11.
At the Lakers, man. I don't think they beat the Lakers. I think the Lakers have their number. I think they want to beat them up.
They sure did have their number in the playoffs.
And I think they want to beat them up. I think they want to beat them up.
Okay.
And so I think the Lakers win that one.
Wow, so 6-5, getting close.
Soft
to
opening. Soft opening. Great call.
Soft opening. We said soft opening. I thought.
Did I? I don't remember saying soft opening.
Okay, maybe soft opening.
But that's right. I like that.
So they're 6-5 now. At San Antonio. Oh wow, your first look at the Grizzlies versus Wemby.
I think the Grizzlies show up. I think they have a lot to prove against Wemby. Maybe we're playing some younger guys in certain roles here, like, the David Roddies of the world, and maybe LaRavia is getting some burn or something like that. I don't know who's getting burned, but I would imagine maybe some younger guys getting some playing time. And they take it personally playing Wemby, seeing this guy's the greatest thing since sliced bread, and these guys are grinding for their spot, and they think this guy's just going to be given everything. No way. Grizzlies show up in San Antonio. There's no question about that.
7-5.
No doubt at all.
7-5. Boston at home. Now remember, Jason Tatum.
Revenge game.
Jason Tatum just played in the pro-am here.
Yeah, but revenge game.
Maybe he throws it. Oh,
revenge
Marcus
game
Smart
for Marcus
revenge
Smart.
game. Oh, that's a great point.
And I think he gets it. I think
Wow.
Marcus Smart revenge game. I think he gets it. No. Here's what's going to happen.
Okay.
Grizzlies are going to be up 20 at halftime, 25 even.
Okay. And here comes Tatum.
And then it's going to be like an 18, 17, 16-point lead at the end of third quarter.
Then like 14, 13, 12.
And it's going to look like all the people, because it's going to be leading up to that game. Everyone's going to be talking about Marcus Smart revenge game, Marcus Smart revenge game, Marcus Smart
Sunday
revenge game.
night game, too.
And then we're going to get into the game, and all that narrative is going to be coming true. Maybe even Pete and Brevin, the consummate professionals that they are, will even talk about it. Maybe Rob Fisher, who's going to be on the show later today, will even talk about that at halftime as he sits there at his little desk. Maybe or even at a snap into or whatever. he's going to talk about this revenge game thing. It looks like Marcus Smart might be getting revenge. And then, no, only for Boston Celtics and Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown to snatch revenge away from Marcus Smart, and they get revenge on Marcus Smart themselves, and the Celtics steal that game after being down 20+.
Wow, 7-6 now in the season.
How about
going
that?
Game 14. Oh, another revenge game at Houston. DB.
I have no respect. No, but that's too big of revenge.
That's a big revenge
That's
game.
too big of
He was
at
made
Houston.
the scapegoat at Houston. Yep.
That's just too big of revenge. Houston wins that one, guys.
Wow.
Houston wins that one.
7-7. We're playing 500 ball into Thanksgiving.
500 ball without Jaws pretty good.
That's
though.
good. No, that's really good. That's really good. And
It's not really good.
well,
but
I mean,
it's
when
good.
you look at these opponents, I mean, these aren't cupcakes.
The last time they played without Ja, they lost 4 games or 2 games or whatever.
Yeah, but that was with Tyus.
This is with Marcus
Oh,
Smart.
sure, I forget about Marcus Smart. But there's no cupcake. I mean, Washington's like the only cupcake I feel like I've said so far
The Wizards.
on this span.
That's a pet peeve of mine. 901-360-8255.
I'm just looking at the schedule. It just says the city.
When people say
Oh,
the
geez.
cities, like we're playing Washington, it's the state, we're playing Utah. No, you're not playing Washington, Utah. You're playing the Jazz.
Okay,
you're
I'm
playing
just looking
the
at
Wizards.
I'm looking at the schedule. It says their city.
You're playing the Vikings.
I'm just looking at the schedule in
Timberwolves.
front of me. Just has the
Pet
city.
peeve of mine.
All right. Can we get through the rest of Jaws' suspension?
Sure.
They're 7-7 now, playing 500 ball.
Yeah.
Phoenix. Only visit for Phoenix and Memphis on November 24th.
I think KD gets buckets in Memphis. But Grizzlies get the win. KD gets
Wow.
buckets, Grizzlies get the win
So
in
8 and
Memphis
7.
here. That's the classic game the Grizzlies would get up for. Maybe a good crowd for that game. Everyone wants to come see KD, and KD sure does get buckets, but it's just not enough because the Grizzlies are scoring at will, and they're locking up on D. Everybody else except KD, who's making only tough shots. That's a Grizzlies get narrative that you win those games right there, and so the Grizzlies win that
So
one.
8 and 7.
That's a home game, too.
It is a home game. Minnesota at home. 3 straight home games here coming up.
I
including
think
these
that is a trap game
Is it?
because you just got up for Phoenix
2 days later.
big time. Well, okay. I'm going to stick with that narrative. I like
Okay.
that narrative. You just got up for Phoenix in a big way.
That's on a Friday night. Friday afternoon. That's the day game. That's the Black Friday day game against
Oh,
Phoenix.
no, then they win that one. A home national TV
No,
game.
no. I'm saying that's the one that's at Phoenix is a day game, Friday afternoon, and
Oh,
now
they
we're
definitely
on,
win that
We're
one.
on Minnesota.
Oh, then they lose Minnesota
Okay, so
after
8
that
and 8.
national TV hype game. Because you
That's
probably
the
should
first national television game of the season.
Because you probably should have lost to Phoenix. You probably should have, like in real terms, and so you give one up the next game to
see.
Minnesota.
I see. Okay, so 8 and 8. Utah again on the schedule. What is this? The second time?
No, I think
Utah?
they lose all 3 to Utah.
Oh wow, that is the third time. You're gonna see Utah 3 times
Just
before
like the Mavs.
December.
Like
That's
we're talking
crazy.
about Mavs 4 times for
Okay,
January 10th.
so that makes them 8 and 9 through November.
Hey, wait, no. I had them losing 2 to Utah. Where's this one with Utah? Home or away?
At home. At home.
Oh,
On
no,
Wednesday.
then they win this one.
Okay,
They get one,
cool.
1 and 2 against Utah. They got to get one because they're really selling it themselves in the locker room. That's what Coach Jenkins has talked about all
Oh,
week
yeah,
in the
you're
locker
right.
room. He's like, man,
Heard
we've
him
lost
talking
2 to
about
these
it,
guys,
yeah.
and they're pissed, man. I mean, in that locker room, they
right.
are spitting mad. They're not losing to Utah 3
like
times.
it.
They beat them.
9 and 8 at Dallas. ESPN game. Whew, it's a rough
No,
two
they don't.
games.
They don't win in Dallas on ESPN.
So
no
so
chance.
9 and 9
Yeah,
at Phoenix.
Phoenix gets them back.
So 9 and 10.
9 and 10.
Home against Dallas. Now let me.
I have them
I
0
should
and 2
preface
against
this.
Dallas. Same
Hold on.
thing. 1 and 2.
I should preface this because at Phoenix is on December 2nd, and then because of the in-season tournament, there's a big gap, and the next game's on the 11th.
Well, that works out then because
So-
I have them on. I have them. I need them to get a win against Dallas. They're 0 and 2 against Dallas. I think they
Perfect.
get one here.
Wow.
Same idea as Utah. They get one against Dallas here. 10 and 10.
So 10 and 10 at Houston. Wow, another game at
How many?
Houston.
How many games is Josh suspended for?
25. We're almost there. We're only,
Oh my God!
only 3 more
Holy
games until
Christ.
then. Last 3 games
What
of
is
the
this
suspension.
one? Where am I?
At Houston,
Uh,
the Big H.
and
The
they already
dirty
played
H.
one at Houston, and I already said it was a revenge game for
You sure
Dylan.
did.
I think Dylan gets revenge twice. I think he
Wow.
owns him.
So 10-10. No, that wouldn't be right.
I think he owns him. And then I think he gets owned in Memphis.
Okay, so what would that make him? 11-11?
Yeah.
Okay, 11-11. Now at home
No,
against
they're
Houston.
11-10, right?
So they're 11-10 now.
Yeah.
Okay, now so 11-10 home against Houston.
Yeah, this is when he gets owned. He gets
Okay.
owned here,
So-
and fans get to cheer and boo the crap out of him. And because he's going to take awful shots here in Memphis, and he's
Perfect.
going to get booed, and he's going to get sent home.
So 12-10, right?
Yeah.
All right, and then the final game at
No, because I had him losing in Houston, so it's 11-11.
11-11. Does that add up?
That sure does, yeah.
Okay, final game, 25th game.
Oh no, then it doesn't add up. That's 22 games. Whatever. Just did one more.
12-11.
Who cares?
All right, they're 12-11 right now.
I apologize to anyone that stuck this out.
At Oklahoma City.
No, they don't win Oklahoma City.
So
Oklahoma
so-
City's too young and hungry, and they're just too good, man.
Wow.
They couldn't even win in Oklahoma City when Isaiah Joe started last
Wow.
year. Please win in Oklahoma City.
So they're gonna go
like John Harden.
They're gonna go 13-12
Okay.
before Ja comes back.
Why not?
I take it. Why not? I love it.
No, I think 12-13
12-13. All right. So they're under 500 when Ja returns.
or 13-12. You guys decide.
You guys decide. 901-360-8255.
That took way too long, Bryant.
It was your idea. I mean, you're the one that
It was
jumped
a little
on
bit
it.
sarcastic, but I'm glad we did it.
Let me set up today's show before we get to top and not top story of their next segment. We're going to talk some college football. There's a lot of decisions being made around the country when it comes to starters. Also, a situation going on down in Miami with John Ruiz and Life Wallet that we'll need to talk about. 3:45, we'll get into some Tiger basketballs. There's a lot of rumors circulating today about two potential players for the Tigers, Malcolm Dandridge and Mikey Williams. We'll talk about that at the end of the hour. 4 o'clock, Keith Smith will join us from Spa Track to talk about the NBA. At 4:30, we'll get into some baseball. 4:45, big number of the day. 5 o'clock, Rob Fisher from Bally Sports and Grind City Media will join us to talk about the Grizzlies' upcoming schedule. 5:30, we'll get to what's trending. And at 5:45, we'll wrap up today's show with Taco Bell Crunch Time. We're sitting in the Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. Summer clearance sale going on right now at Family Leisure, and they need your help to clear out inventory. All DIY pools, $1,000 off. Special 24-foot round pool, less than $2,000. Select play gyms, only $18.99. Patio furniture, up to 30% off. And spas, they're in stock and up to $1,200 off. Don't forget about the 24-month same-as cash financing, now available only at Family Leisure, 2120 Witten Road, just north of I-40.
This hour of our show brought to you every day by Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and online at lexusofmemphis.com. The one and only Lexus dealership in town. Call them at 901-334-9673. Great offers on all 2023 models and always special leasing options. Drive in luxury and confidence knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. Stop by Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and put yourself in the driver's seat of the all-new 2023 flagship LS500. You'll be looking and you'll be driving in style. And when you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design, and they make for the luxury driving experience. Online at lexusofmemphis.com. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
Well, my top story of the day is what we've been talking about to start the show. The Grizzlies' schedule is out along with every other team in the NBA. Some highlights from the schedule. 13 of the games this year will be on national TV. That's down from 18 last year, which isn't hard to believe because of the 25-game suspension for Ja Morant. We talked about it earlier. In that suspension, only 3 games on national TV, 2 of those being NBA TV, the other being ESPN. When Ja is set to return, they'll be in New Orleans on TNT, so the NBA is banking on him to play in that game and it to be one that a lot of people are interested to watch. 14 back-to-back games for the Grizzlies, 3 two-game series, 1 at Portland where they'll play Portland back-to-back, 1 at home versus Portland, where they'll play them back-to-back, and then one at home against Houston. One is one at Houston and one at home on Houston with a day in between those 2 days. 5 of the last 6 games are at home, so you'll get to see a lot of the Grizzlies late in the season. And one thing I thought was really interesting, your second game at home of the season, second game in the season regardless, is at home against Denver, and then your final game of the season will be at home against Denver. So we'll get 2 really good looks at the defending world champions.
Very much so. It's exciting to see. That's my top story as well. I don't know if anyone's heard or not, but I've already gone through, because I'm a journalist, and I've done W's and L's for the first 25 games without John Moran. I think going 12-13 or 13-12. It's hard to say. However you see it, you guys get to decide that. There's only one game that I'm not sure about. I don't exactly remember which one it was, but that's also on my new detail as well.
It was at Utah.
Absolutely. There's no way it was at Utah. There's no way. No, there's no way. I had them losing twice to Utah.
But that was the one you're like, it's a toss-up. It's a toss-up. It could go either way at Utah.
I don't believe it.
Or maybe it was at Washington. It was early.
I don't know. Either way, the schedule is out, and we're deciding who's winning and who's losing these early games. Not a lot of national TV left for the Grizzlies. Do they hate Memphis or do they love Stars? Hard to say. I guess it's for the fans to decide.
Not top story of the day.
Well, my not top story of the day, we've been talking a lot about Major League Baseball and kind of this wild card race. I said earlier in the week that I thought today would be this week and next week would be 2 big weeks for these teams trying to get a wild card spot. You could really make up a lot of ground or kind of extend your lead in the wild card in these 2 weeks as we kind of start winding down for the season. One of those teams trying to make a wild card or even maybe win the division is the Chicago Cubs. We'll talk about it a little bit later. They had a walk-off win last night. The young outfielder Christopher Morel hit a walk-off to avoid a sweep against the Chicago White Sox. But some bad news coming out. Marcus Stroman, who has been dealing with some soreness, it looks like he has a fractured rib, and there's no timeline for his return. I mean, this is a guy that has been up and down at times this year, but for the most part has been a really good starting pitcher in that rotation. And with him being out and with no timeline for a return, that makes it scary for this Cubs team that really still has an opportunity to win the division, but also try to make that wild card.
That was legitimately going to be my not top story of the day as well, is that the Cubs and the Reds are doing this losing, even though they're right there. The Cubs and the Reds, everyone is high on because they're right there and they have the division seemingly for the taking, or at least a playoff spot seemingly for the taking, but they're not doing any real winning. They're losing these games. I know Christopher Morel's walk-off was incredible. You need a walk-off to beat the White Sox for the first time to avoid being down 3-0 in this series.
Crazy.
It's a joke. Yeah. And then the Reds are not doing any winning in their series either, although they did win yesterday too, but same kind of thing. They've been doing a whole lot of losing on top of one win yesterday. It seems like nobody wants to win this series. I know we're excited. Hey, nobody is higher on the Cubs than me because Bryant and Brett both make fun of me for even liking the Cubs even a little bit. But I'm telling you, they're not doing enough winning to make any noise in the playoffs the way I see it as of right now.
Yeah, I saw there were, and we can talk about this later, but I thought the Cubs were one I had circled this week, and the Mariners I had circled this week, where they're facing lesser competition that they could really make up ground. And for the Cubs,
Mariners, the Royals, right?
The Royals, yeah.
1-2 in the. They're playing right now.
They're playing right now. I don't know what the score is. They're
so
just
it's 1-1 in the series.
No, this game 4.
So it's 1-2. That's what I thought.
Yeah, 2-1 in favor of the Mariners. No,
I'm
Mariners.
sorry.
I think I could be wrong, but yeah, no. So I thought those two would be big, and it really hasn't been big for either of them. Both of them have really struggled against those opponents, and so not looking good for really either of those teams. But that'll do it for top and not top story of the day. Let's go ahead and get to our first break of the day. When we come back, we'll talk about some college football.
Be sure to follow us at Sports56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows, stay up to date with station events, and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports56 WHBQ.
Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company, we have it all. From handmade Amish leather belts, fine and casual clothing, boots, casual boots, work boots, fancy boots, and even safety-toed boots. Lots of cowboy hats to choose from, even Nebo Lights, good-looking duck head dress shirts, duck head caps, shorts, and pants. Tons of jeans from Ariat, Wrangler, Devil Dog, and Kimes Ranch jeans. At Hewlett & Dunn, we have a great selection of Old South t-shirts and caps. Fine clothing from dress to casual to Sunday best. Enjoy choosing from UFO's orthopedic-approved shoes. Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company. Boots of every size, every color, every skin. Great quality Western, work, and safety toe boots. Hewlett & Dunn Boots and Clothing Company. 111 North Center Street, Collierville. Hewlett & Dunn. Hewlett & Dunn, serving you and your family since 1961.
All 650 acquisition fee, 30,000 miles, 20 cents excess mileage. Forte PE 659,993. MSRP 22,540. Nero P 501,5237. MSRP 41,390. EV6 P 560,3393. MSRP 50,200. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax and license with approved credit. See dealer for details. Offer valid through 9/5/23. Dealer stock only. Warranties. A limited powertrain warranty. See Kia.com or retailer for details.
I got Jeff Allen on the line. Hey, what's the scoop over there at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah?
Randy, we got deals everyone wants. How about 41 MPG Highway, 2023 Kia Forte LXS, $249 a month, $29.99 due at signing.
Hey, Jeff, give me some EV scoop.
2023 Nero EV Win, 253 miles of EPA estimated range, $292 a month. And a 2023 Kia EV6 Win with up to 134 city, 101 highway MPGE. Only $425 a month, both $49.99 due at signing, all 36-month lease.
And Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty to boot.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
2680 Mount Moriah or KiaMountMoriah.com.
Attention, everyone. Family Leisure needs your help clearing out their inventory. Let me say that again. Family Leisure is needing your help to clear out their inventory. And to do so, there are tons of great deals throughout the store. For example, all do-it-yourself pools are $1,000 off. Special 24-foot round pools for less than $2,000. Select play gyms, only $18.99. Hey, if you need patio furniture, they have patio furniture that's now up to 30% off. Spas are in stock. They're up to $1,200 off. Now listen up, because I'm only going to say this once. 24 months, same as cash financing, is now available through this sale. Family Leisure needs your help clearing out their inventory, so come and do your part at Family Leisure. Whitten Road and I-40, where family and fun come together.
Start your day the right way at La Palapa with the biggest, baddest breakfast burrito around. Chorizo, cheese, rice, beans, and eggs served with fresh salsa, and it's served all day. La Palapa has daily lunch specials, all served with rice and beans, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Try a torta, breaded chicken, steak, chorizo, or ham served with mayo, avocado, lettuce, tomato, and jalapenos, all in a hoagie. Plus amazing soups and dinner entrees, all at La Palapa, 5255 Summer Avenue. La Palapa, the little hut with big taste.
From brilliant to beautiful, we've heard lots of words used to describe the Sissy's Log Cabin experience, but we think one sums it up best: extraordinary. Here, you'll find an unparalleled selection, impeccable service, and an experience that makes you feel like family. Shop online at sissyslogcabin.com or stop by one of our 6 locations. Find your trusted jeweler for a lifetime only at Sissy's Log Cabin, because life's too short for ordinary jewelry.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant Dacus and Jay Morgan Harder with you. And a lot of news around college football with the season. I think we're down to single-digit days left until week 0. I think we're down to 9 days until week 0 action. So it'll be here before we know it.
Can you feel it?
I can feel it. Can you?
Sure.
All right. But the kind of big story that I've seen not involving anything on-field related is what's going on down in Miami with John Ruiz, their top booster in his company Life Wallet. Yesterday, a Miami healthcare provider Kano Health filed a lawsuit last week. Well, I can read my handwriting.
Sorry.
Filed a lawsuit last week saying that Ruiz's company, Life Wallet, owes their company nearly $67 million. This comes just a month after Life Wallet acknowledged that their company was under investigation by the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission.
The
SEC, and this healthcare provider, also said that it is a sham and effectively a Ponzi scheme in terms of Life Wallet. So doesn't look good for John Ruiz with kind of everything that's happening. His company, if you've been paying attention to it, becoming very big company. He's obviously a massive Miami fan. I believe went to Miami in college and is a huge part of their NIL deals. I mean, a ton of players have been very vocal about going to Miami, staying at Miami because of the NIL deals put in place by John Ruiz. And John Ruiz kind of shouts it from the rooftops as well about kind of how much he's doing for the University of Miami and their athletic program.
I mean, this is a matter of time.
Absolutely.
This guy's a clown.
Absolutely. But if you've kind of paid attention, I was reading this story earlier. It was in the Miami Herald, and then I saw another story. I can't remember where the other story was, but it was more kind of reactionary about it. And they were talking about if you've kind of watched his company since the start, it was this big new company that everyone was excited about. Is getting a lot of money and a lot of partnerships and different sorts of things. And it has just gone completely downhill since. Shocked, right. I saw that when Life Wallet, I think 2 months after they became, public or whatever, they were trading at about $10 per share. As of yesterday, Life Wallet was trading at 13 cents, so down 99%.
That's a steal
from when it started. And Life Wallet only brought in $23.4 million in revenue in 2022, and their total operating loss was $402 million. So, this is obviously a business that's in some hot water, but for the University of Miami, this definitely isn't great for their athletic programs when they've really relied on John Ruiz to kind of be the backbone of their NIL workings.
Be every bone of their NIL
Literally.
workings at this point. I mean, he's really gotten them a lot of players.
Brought them Final Four run, an Elite Eight run.
But, I'm sure there's some negative things that go with that we don't really see, that maybe it's good to be out from underneath.
Yeah.
I would imagine – I don't know this for a fact because he hasn't said it, because you don't bite the hand that feeds you, I guess. But it seems like there's some undertones of Mario Cristobal not always loving all of his inputs all the time and stuff like that. And maybe I don't want this player, you know what I mean? Yeah. Maybe and people just show up because they're getting so much money.
Well, that's kind of the
It's not like he's working with the coaching staff to say, these are the players we want, go get them. You know what I mean? He's just kind of doing whatever the hell he wants.
He just kind of decided, okay, I like this player. Let's try to throw a bag at him to get him Miami.
So I'm sure there's some negative side effects of that as well.
Sure.
Positive side effects, those basketball teams, men and women's, were really, really good.
Really good.
Negative, football was not.
It was not.
So maybe it takes the head coach being on board to a certain extent too, because maybe Mario Cristobal just isn't on board enough. Maybe that means he needs to be gone. No, I don't know if we want to start kowtowing to people like John Ruiz.
Well, and it's interesting, and obviously John Ruiz.
Kowtown, did I use that right?
I don't know. But John Ruiz was kind of, when NIL started, was really the first booster to just kind of be very open about how much money he was going to give and everything he was going to do for NIL.
No, and
at Miami.
It also paralleled the start of Twitter Spaces and being on Twitter and stuff like that. And so he is super prominent in these Twitter Spaces and being on Twitter, yelling and screaming and hollering and stuff like that about how he's going to give all this money and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And it's like, dude, you're just a maniac. What are you talking about? And then sure enough, when NIL becomes legal, he starts throwing all this money around. Well, he was a lunatic from the begin with, and it turns out at the end of the day, he was always a lunatic. None of this seemed like it was ever on the up and up. And it turns out it probably wasn't.
Well, and really, Miami was also kind of, at least from my recollection and kind of what I'm remembering, Miami was really the first school to have players threaten to leave publicly, I guess I should say, publicly threaten to enter the transfer portal if they didn't get kind of the NIL money that they had requested. I mean, they were, I can't remember the exact basketball player last year that literally came out and said, I'm going to enter the transfer portal unless I have this amount of money.
It was the best player.
It was, and I can't remember.
What's the fellow's name? That's in the NBA now. I don't know if he's in the NBA now or not.
I can see him. I can see him in my head, but now I can't.
I can't think of the guy's name.
I can't think of his name.
Isaiah Wong.
Isn't
that right?
No. It was another one. It was not Isaiah Wong.
Okay, that's what I was thinking of, was Isaiah Wong.
It was another guy. If you said his name, I would know exactly who it was.
I know. And then Tyler Van Dyke entered the transfer portal for a day to get more money?
I was about to say Tyler Van Dyke was the other big one.
And that was all centered around this quack here.
So, I mean, it like you said, it almost seems like it's more damaging than anything.
But you can't, Yeah. It's good that they're getting paid. You know what I mean? It's good that they're getting money. This is just the vessel they do it. Mm-hmm. And so you don't want to say that it's like bad that this is happening, but like there are negative side effects to it. Just
there's
like
positives
anything.
And there's negatives, absolutely.
Just like anything else.
Some other news around the country. I have bad news for you, Jay Morgan. It looks like Bobby Ashford is not going to be the starting quarterback for Auburn. Hugh Freeze announced Peyton Thorne, the Michigan State transfer, will be the starting quarterback going into Week 1.
Get a clue, Hugh. Jeez.
I mean, geez, Hugh, what are you doing? But I mean, I think kind of, I guess, expected this. I mean, in this day and age of
everyone we've talked to has said it's going to be Robbie Ashford. Expected this.
Okay, maybe I shouldn't say I expected this.
Did I watch Robbie Ashford play games last year and look horrendous? Yes, I did do that. But everyone we talked to said he was going to be the starter.
So
why isn't he the starter, Bryant? Why?
Well, I mean, I think this day and age of the transfer portal, when you go out and get a guy, especially at Michigan State,
get the hell out of there.
Right. I mean,
right now. Come to Memphis. No, we got Seth Hennigan.
We got Seth Hennigan. We're good.
Who needs him? Who needs him?
I'm sure there's a lot of places out there that could use him. But so the Peyton Thorne, the transfer from Michigan State, he, I guess, wins out. But hey, that's not saying that he can't beat him out. Yeah, it's a long season. You never know what happens. Things could change. The other interesting thing I saw, it looks like Arizona State true freshman Jaden Rashada has emerged as a serious candidate to be the starting quarterback for Arizona State, which this is interesting because Jaden Rashada became a massive name this past offseason on his recruitment trail because he had signed his letter of intent with Florida and was going to go to the University of Florida and then asked out of his national letter of intent because of NIL money.
No loyalty.
And landed at Arizona State. Because of the I guess NIL, they were offering a better,
it was just too lucrative,
better pot, I guess. So Jaden Rashada has looked good. People are saying he has an NFL arm, and I'm excited to see if he can win that job and if he can what he can do as a true freshman. Because obviously a lot of hype around him with a lot of SEC offers, Pac-12 offers going into the season. So
any coaches, if you're listening, Robbie Ashford's available, apparently. I mean, not yet, but
not yet.
Be early. Go swoop in now. I mean, there's no rules anymore, right? So do whatever the hell you want. Go talk to him now.
Slide into his DMs, tell him you'll give him
something different, I think.
The starting spot. No, I'm sure coaches slide into DMs every once in a while.
Do they?
Sure, why
not? It goes down in the DM?
Yeah.
Go down? It go down in the DM?
The recruiting goes down in the DMs, for sure.
Snapchat me that Scully if it's
cool. Let's get to a break. When we come back, we'll talk about the Tigers basketball team.
We are real sports talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Response to the all-new Genesis Diamonds has been incredible. People are loving what we've brought to Memphis. Genesis is a different kind of jewelry store with more jewelry than you've ever seen in one place at prices you never thought possible. But value is just a piece of the Genesis difference. They're taking consumer protection to a whole new level with non-commissioned salespeople, free service for life on any purchase, and a nationwide price guarantee. And listen to this, Genesis is so confident in their diamonds that they offer a groundbreaking 120% upgrade guarantee. This means when you buy a diamond now and bring it back in the future to upgrade it, you'll get your entire original purchase price plus an extra 20%. So if you spend $5,000 on your original diamond, Genesis will give you $6,000 when you trade up to a bigger diamond. Think about it. We'll pay you more than you paid us for the same diamond. Who else does this? Discover the Genesis difference, forever changing how people in Memphis buy diamonds and fine jewelry. At Poplar & Perkins, the official jeweler of the Tennessee Titans.
Angie's List is now Angie, and we've heard a lot of theories about why.
I thought it was an eco move. Fewer words, less paper.
No, it was so you could say it faster.
No, it's to be more iconic.
Must be a tech thing.
But those aren't quite right. It's because now you can compare upfront prices, book a service instantly, and even get your project handled from start to finish.
Sounds easy.
It is, and it makes us so much more than just a list. Get started at Angie.com. That's ANGI, or download the app today.
I'm with John Burgos from the world-famous Rendezvous in the Alley since 1948.
Brett, we have catered parties all over this country and all over the world, from Singapore, Australia to Central Park in New York, but many people don't realize how much we do locally. For holiday events, office parties, tailgating, birthday parties, you can't do better than the Rendezvous. For example, you can get a cheese and sausage tray for 15 to 300 people for $3.75 a person. You can even build your own nacho bar for $10.50 per person. All you need is a minimum of 15 people. In many cases, we can arrange delivery and full-service catering. We've even made it easy to get to-go items. You can just park at our front door in the alley, put on your flashes, and we'll get you going ASAP. For all your catering items and prices, go to hogsfly.com, click on menu, and drop down to catering.
Thank you, John. The Rendezvous, Mr. Charlie Burgos' Rendezvous in the Alley since 1948 and celebrating its 75th year.
When a cold comes on strong, knock it out with Vicks DayQuil Severe for max strength daytime relief. Just one dose of Vicks DayQuil Severe starts to relieve 9 of your worst cold and flu symptoms to help take you from 9 to none. Power through your day with Vicks DayQuil Severe, the daytime non-drowsy, coughing, aching, fever, sore throat, 9 to none medicine. Use as directed.
A new era in public safety begins with you. Be the change you want to see. Join us for the Memphis Police Department Hiring Expo, Saturday, August 26, 2023, from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at 170 North Main Street downtown. We'll be taking applications, performing basic testing, and interviewing candidates on site. Free parking will be located at Poplar Avenue and Front Street. Salary starting at $60,700. Benefits include a $15,000 sign-on bonus, up to $10,000 relocation assistance. For more information or details, visit joinmpd.com.
Homer Skelton Hyundai Genesis in Olive Branch has an offer you can't refuse. They will pay you to do business with them if you want luxury. And I'm talking the Genesis G70 car. If you would love to have that kind of new technology, they will give you a $1,000 rebate when you finance with Genesis Motor Finance. In other words, they'll pay you $1,000 to do business with them, and you get brand new luxury. You can't beat it. That's Homer Skelton Hyundai Genesis, right at the corner of Craft Road and Highway 78 in Olive Branch. Homer Skelton Hyundai Genesis in Olive Branch, where customer retention is amazing. There's a reason. They take care of you with a team that's been together for a long time. Whether it's finance or whether it's service, you can't beat them. Homer Skelton Hyundai Genesis.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
So there's been 2 rumors floating around social media today regarding the Tigers basketball team that I saw. I think the first one involves Malcolm Dandridge, and I think I saw Parthu Badiah, who is the beat writer for the Daily Memphian. I think I saw it on his page that he tweeted it. Somebody at some point today, I guess, went on Twitter or somewhere and said Malcolm Dandridge is in the student directory at the University of Memphis, so that means he's coming back. He's registered as a student at the University of Memphis, and so people were tweeting this out. He's in the directory.
I think once you register, you're always registered, right?
Yes, but it became like it's official. He's in the directory. He's going to be here. So the wait is over. Malcolm is going to be a Tiger again. And Parthu Badiah tweeted out and said, he's in the directory, but also Keontae Kennedy, KO, Chandler, and Connor Glennon are also all in the student directory. Keontae Kennedy now at Cal. KO decided to go pro. Chandler is now at Arkansas, and Connor Glennon also left. So I think Connor Glennon graduated.
Sounds like they're all coming back.
Yeah, where are they all coming back? So I think people need to, maybe Malcolm comes back. I mean, he really could. It's a possibility. And as kind of some of these other schools continue to fill out their roster spots continue to go down. I know last week St. Louis filled their final roster spot, and so they're out on Malcolm. That was a place that Malcolm visited. I've heard West Virginia as a name that Malcolm has been interested in, and I just saw Noah Farrakhan just transferred to West Virginia, so I don't know how many scholarships they have left for this upcoming season, but just because Malcolm's in the directory does not mean that it's for sure he's coming back. Like I said, still very possible he comes back, but I don't think the directory is really going to give us an answer one way or another.
That's not the gauge we're looking for.
What do you mean?
I don't know. It was just something to say.
Shouldn't be looking in the directory to see if a player. That shouldn't be your recruiting inside as the student directory. The other rumor that has been floating around is Mikey Williams posted a picture this morning on social media, on Instagram, where he's sitting in front of a house, and a lot of people are saying that this house is in Memphis. So this is now the second time, I guess, if he is in Memphis in this picture, that Mikey's been seen or photographed in Memphis. So maybe Mikey's a Tiger.
Maybe so.
Maybe, which, look, I think would be great if Mikey ends up being a Tiger and being on this roster. It's great. I mean, he's a very talented player. He's a 5-star for a reason, and I think would be really good in this roster. Now the question becomes, if he does get to campus, if he is on this team, where do you use him? I've heard a lot of people say Mikey still starts no matter what. I don't really agree with that. I think you've got a lot of older guys that have experience at high-level schools. I mean, you've brought in a point guard from Alabama. You've brought in a shooting guard from Florida State. You've got guys who are older guys with experience in that backcourt. So I don't think Mikey, especially Hasn't joined the team yet. If he did join the team, it would be middle of August, late August, maybe even September before he joined the team and started practicing and working out with them. I think Mikey would have to start off the bench. Bring him in. Maybe he's your first guy off the bench. Maybe he's your second guy off the bench. Maybe he comes off early and plays a lot. I just don't see a way, if Mikey is a Tiger, that you start him this year.
Also a freshman.
Exactly.
People forget that.
Yeah, and well, I mean, he's just so he's young.
I mean, I know that sounds simple to say, but it's true. That's really just like you just said. He's young, and that's meaningful.
And I mean, with all of the age you have on this team, I mean, you've built this roster centered around transfers in the transfer portal, and you have a bunch of older guys that have only 1 or 2 years left in college, and so they've been at other places and kind of gone through the college grind and that college schedule and playing at a collegiate level for a couple of years. So hopefully, I mean, I hope Mikey is a part of this team. I hope that everything can get settled with his case and that he can get here with the team if he's innocent. On the case, I hope he gets here and plays. Now we're just waiting on DeAndre, and we talked about it the other day. Sounds like there is a decision coming in the next week or so. So hopefully soon we'll know about DeAndre and if he gets his extra year. But, I mean, I guess there's a possibility that all three of those guys could be on this roster next year.
I mean, can you imagine? Final Four?
Maybe.
Or better.
Maybe.
National championship even.
Maybe.
Or better.
Or well, what's better than a national championship? Undefeated national
The Olympics.
The Olympics. It's like the Mighty Ducks where they're so good.
You beat the aliens like in Space Jam.
Oh, wow.
Aliens invade Earth. The Tigers are the best team on Earth. They play the Tigers. Tigers win. That's better than a national championship.
I like it.
901-360-8255. What's better, beating aliens or winning a national championship?
Well, text line will decide. Because that's tough to decide. Let's wrap up this hour, get to a break, and when we come back, we'll get back into the NBA conversation with Keith Smith from Spot Track.
If you're looking to stock up for your next summer barbecue, look no further than Memphis Barbecue Supply. Here at Memphis Barbecue Supply, we boast the largest selection of fuel and wood in the Mid-South. We have everything from chip, chunk, mini logs, and logs of wood. Additionally, we carry pellets in 14 different varieties, as well as 6 different briquette charcoal and 4 different lump charcoal. And our knowledgeable staff is always available to help with any questions you may have for your next cook. We can help you choose from our over 308 different rubs and sauces that we keep in stock. Memphis Barbecue Supply is located at 7041 Stage Road in Memphis, or you can order online at mbbqsupply.com. Follow us on all the social media platforms for recipes, new products, and barbecue news. So, the next time you're planning on cooking, keep us in mind. Memphis Barbecue Supply.
Is your roof leaking? Do you have water damage on your ceiling of your home or business? Do you need assistance gathering much-needed data and images from your storm-damaged roof for an insurance claim? Call Metro Builders, roof and restoration specialists, and schedule your free inspection. At Metro Builders, our team of Hague-certified technicians and fully trained estimators are ready to come out and evaluate any concerns you may have. Metro Builders Roof and Restoration. We accept all insurance carrier scopes. Call Metro Builders now. Each and every day, we provide clients many different types of data and estimates for their insurance carrier. These include estimate and photo reports of all damage, from the roof to water damage on rafters and ceilings and even studs and plates inside walls. Check out the local BBB for our 27-year history in construction in Memphis, or check us out online today at metrobuildersmemphis.com. That's metrobuildersmemphis.com for your local residential and commercial roofing and restoration experts. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717.
Is your wife asking you to stop eating junk food? Well, we have you covered at Humdinger's. It's quick and it's healthy, and most important, it tastes amazing. With many choices from salmon salad to rainbow trout and grilled asparagus. Come visit us for lunch at Humdinger's, 6300 Poplar Avenue. So good, Coach Penny eats with us weekly. Don't forget, Humdinger's offers full-service catering for weddings, social events, or your corporate lunches. You can call 901-260-8292 to find out more.
Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company, we have it all. From handmade Amish leather belts, fine and casual clothing, boots, casual boots, work boots, fancy boots, and even safety-toed boots. Lots of cowboy hats to choose from, even Nebo Lights, good-looking duck head dress shirts, duck head caps, shorts, and pants. Tons of jeans from Ariat, Wrangler, Devil Dog, and Kimes Ranch jeans. At Hewlett & Dunn, we have a great selection of Old South t-shirts and caps. Fine clothing from dress to casual to Sunday best. Enjoy choosing from UFO's orthopedic-approved shoes. Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company. Boots of every size, every color, every skin. Great quality Western, work, and safety toe boots. Hewlett & Dunn Boots and Clothing Company. 111 North Center Street, Collierville. Hewlett & Dunn. Hewlett & Dunn, serving you and your family since 1961.
You've heard of James Gaddis Jewelers, but have you heard what they've done lately? Everything! A tremendous selection of diamonds and jewels, gold, silver, and much more. Lots of watches, tons of custom-made jewelry, fine gemstones, bracelets, necklaces, so many choices. Romantics will love the one-of-a-kind estate and vintage jewelry. James Gaddis has experts to help you with wedding and engagement rings, plus 2 repair experts for fine watches and jewelry. Layaway and financing available. James Gaddis Jewelers at 4900 Poplar.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus of Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
I'm with John Burgos from the world-famous Rendezvous in the Alley since 1948.
Brett, we have catered parties all over this country and all over the world, from Singapore, Australia to Central Park in New York, but many people don't realize how much we do locally. For holiday events, office parties, tailgating, birthday parties, you can't do better than the Rendezvous. For example, you can get a cheese and sausage tray for 15 to 300 people for $3.75 a person. You can even build your own nacho bar for $10.50 per person. All you need is a minimum of 15 people. In many cases, we can arrange delivery and full-service catering. We've even made it easy to get to-go items. You can just park at our front door in the alley, put on your flashes, and we'll get you going ASAP. For all your catering items and prices, go to hogsfly.com, click on menu, and drop down to catering.
Thank you, John. The Rendezvous, Mr. Charlie Burgos' Rendezvous in the Alley since 1948 and celebrating its 75th year.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Oh, yeah. Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time as we start our second hour. Bryant Dacus and Jay Morgan Harder with you. And joining us now from Spa Track to talk about the NBA, Keith Smith joins us now. Keith, I know it's a big day in the NBA because of the schedule release announcement earlier today. But before we get to that, I gotta ask you about this James Harden versus Daryl Morey saga going on. Late last week or kind of into the weekend, we heard reports that the 76ers were going to stop all trade talks involving James Harden. And then earlier this week, James Harden overseas at a Adidas event called Daryl Morey a liar and that he would never be a part of an organization that he's a part of. What did you make of all this from start to finish?
Yeah, they basically put it out there that James Harden was going to make things uncomfortable for Philadelphia, and that's what he's doing. Coming out and calling the guy who runs the basketball operations for the team a liar, and we don't know is he a liar because he reneged on re-signing him after Harden had opted out and took less money a couple years ago. Is he a liar because he opted in and Morey said he'd trade him and he didn't trade him? Is he a liar because of both? We don't know those details. We'll probably never get the full story on that, but it's very clear James Harden wants no part of being in Philadelphia anymore. He wants to be somewhere else. The problem is the place he really wants to be, the Clippers, they've been seemingly kind of ambivalent to trading for him, or at least giving up what it's going to cost. So this puts us in this spot where it gets a little ugly right now.
So what happens next with all this? I mean, obviously, like you said, he's going to make this very awkward for the 76ers, but how do you think this plays out?
Yeah, I mean, what we're seeing right now is, he's saying, I'm not going to play for them, anymore. I'm not going to be an organization that Daryl Morey's a part of. And what that means to me is then we start watching, does he hold out? Now, the challenge is Philadelphia, obviously no stranger to somebody holding out and not showing up. Ben Simmons did this, but it's a very different situation. Ben Simmons had multiple years left on his contract. For James Harden, because he's in the final year of his deal, he holds out for more than 30 days this season. And by that meaning doesn't show up and doesn't do what he's supposed to do. Then what's going to happen is his contract, even though it expires, he can't sign anywhere else without Philadelphia's permission. So I don't think we're going to see any kind of lengthy holdout. My gut still tells me, and because this is generally how these situations go, when we get a month or so from now, and we're approaching late September and training camp and media days a week or two out, then we'll probably see everybody kind of say, all right, let's get this done. Nobody wants to deal with all the awkward stuff that's going to come with this, because we know Philadelphia will say, hey, no James Harden questions. Nobody's going to answer them. Then guys like you and me will proceed to raise our hands and ask every James Harden question under the sun, because that's what we do in the media, because we're trying to get answers and how people feel about it. So it's just, I think they're going to do what they can to avoid a very messy situation.
So, Keith, how do you interpret what Joel Embiid then followed up and did by changing his location on Twitter or X or whatever you call it now away from Philadelphia? Is that just Joel Embiid being the Twitter troll that he is?
Yeah, I think so. Probably more than anything. I do think Joel Embiid probably is, if you really could get him to be honest about it, he probably is a little frustrated, because I'm sure for him he's thinking, what the heck, I want to win a title here. Like, I don't want to mess around with this, and him doing that. I don't think that means we're going to see Joel Embiid be the next guy to say, hey, get me out of here. I want traded by any means. And I think all these players are also media savvy now. They know you make any kind of change to, any kind of social media, or you God forbid, you tweet or post anything anywhere, that it's going to come kind of out and like, whoa, look at what happened here, and everybody's going to overreact. So I think he's probably, if nothing else, probably having a little bit of fun, but also saying like, hey, I'm not super happy about how this is playing out.
So, Keith, earlier this week, the NBA did a big rollout for their in-season tournament schedules before today when they released all the schedules. What do you think of this first year of the in-season tournaments? They'll be playing on Tuesday nights and Friday nights in the month of November before we kind of get done with round robin, and then those later games will be in early December. Do you like the concept? Do you think it will work?
Yeah, I think we got to give it a chance. Yeah. It's kind of, I go back to the play-in tournament, and not the version in the bubble, but the version after that. The bubble version, we all kind of said, all right, yeah, they had to do something because we were going to have less games and uneven schedules and blah, blah, blah. So when we got it, and it was like, hey, that was kind of fun. Now we're going to put it in and make it a real thing. A lot of people were, I don't like this. This isn't how it should be. And now I don't know anybody who doesn't think the play-in tournament's kind of cool. So, the in-season tournament's going to take a little while for it to catch on. We'll see how much importance teams and players are putting behind it, and that'll go a long way towards its success. But I think, anytime you put a chance to win something in front of people who are extremely competitive, they're going to do what they can to try to win it. And I think in the end, we'll see this will end up being kind of fun and probably exciting.
I noticed kind of looking at that rollout for the in-season tournament that there's going to be 2 day games on Black Friday. I think the first one is with the Celtics, and then the second one, an afternoon game, 4 o'clock, between the Suns and the Grizzlies. I think that first one's at 1 o'clock or noon. Could you see the NBA, if this in-season tournament works in the first year, they bring it back next year, do you think we could see in the future the NBA trying to make Black Friday a day where they have 3 or 4 day games and try to kind of get some sort of market for a Black Friday day of basketball?
Yeah, I think it's possible. I think, the day have historically not played on Thanksgiving for years now, so that they kind of ceded that day to the NFL and said, hey, you can have it, it's your day. And I think, the NBA is going to look for other days on the calendar that they can kind of own and have be theirs, because like this year, I believe the NFL, they've got a game in every window on Christmas Day. Yeah. So they're going to go, direct head-to-head all day long. And that's something that I don't think is going to change with the NFL unless, maybe if Christmas is a Wednesday, maybe the NFL will say, all right, we're not doing it. But outside of that, I think you're going to see them, probably push more games on to Christmas. So I think, if the NBA can say, hey, you know what, we can kind of own Black Friday here and make this a thing. They're one thing to be wary of. That tends to be a pretty big college football day. There's usually a handful of big college games, but I don't know that they're overly worried about that. So I think if they can do that, I think you will see them kind of push in on that territory a little bit, because I think that'll make some sense for them. Kind of like how they over the last, it's been about a decade now, they've made MLK Day a thing on their schedule. That's become a major day for the NBA. So I think you may see them do things like that.
So it sounds like, Keith, you think this is like just a way to kind of make a marquee, weekly TV event for the NBA in a season that they might be struggling to gain an audience right now. Is that kind of how you interpret this plan to do this in-season tournament?
Well, I don't think it's about struggling to gain an audience. I think what they're trying to do is bring some more meaning to those early season games, because I think what's happened is, over the years, we've landed in a spot where it's kind of become, hey, do these games matter? What are we really thinking? Are these, excuse me, I have the hiccup. Are these games, something that, people really care about here in October and November and the beginning part of December? So I think what they're trying to do is, let's juice these a little, bring a little more meaning in. They're going to double count. They're going to be both, regular season games, and they'll count as, the kind of, what do we call it? The tournament games, the group stage games. So I think that will be important, as they kind of go into it, but we'll see, how that all comes together, over time, because it is going to take a little while to play out.
Talking to Keith Smith about the NBA. He's from Spot Track. We got the schedules, all the schedules out today. I don't know how closely you've been able to look at most of them. I know we've kind of seen kind of a slow rollout leading up to today of the kind of opening night games. You have the Lakers and the Nuggets, and then we had kind of the Christmas Day schedule come out last week. But is there any games that just kind of immediately jumped out to you when kind of seeing some of these schedules?
Yeah, it's funny. I kind of go into the whole NBA schedule release. I don't know if you've ever heard this, but when Larry Bird was the Pacers coach, they handed him a copy of the schedule one year, and he said, 41 home, 41 away. Yep, looks about right. And that's kind of where I'm at. Mm-hmm. Obviously Christmas Day is, something I am always interested in, who's playing Christmas Day. I'm always interested in, what do we have for, who has rest games, who has the back-to-back advantages, how many of those are in there and those kind of things. But those are that. I don't get very caught up in the national TV stuff. I stopped caring about that a few years ago when the Lakers were one of the worst teams in the league and still had 1 million national TV games. And that's just the audience, right? That's going to be how it is. Now, for certain teams, what I start looking at, like for Memphis, for example, what does the schedule look like in the first, 20 or so games of the year when you may not have John Moran? Are there some easier games in the mix there? Are they all, we loaded up with teams that look like they're going to be pretty good? But for the most part, it's, beyond, all right, where are the road trips, where are certain games? Those I kind of go looking for a little bit, but I don't spend a ton of time, getting too worked up over the NBA schedule because I just, I find basically everybody plays, kind of the same deal and off we go.
Keith, have you ever noticed this before? I was looking at the Grizzlies schedule, and we noticed they played the Jazz like 3 times before Christmas, and I think they play all their game with the Mavericks before January 11th or something like that. Is that peculiar? Have you ever seen anything like that before? Is that just kind of the way the cookie crumbles with the schedule sometimes?
Yeah, there's always at least a few of those, and I absolutely hate it.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where you're not going to get a real sense, and then for, somebody like me who then when we get around the playoffs, if those teams match up, you start looking and you're like, oh, wow, there's some weird results. And then like, oh, yeah, because, player X, Y, and Z was out. Now, it's funny because you talk to the teams, they like the idea of these mini-series that they've created, kind of like Major League Baseball, where it's, you fly in and you play a team, 2 games, in a row in one city, and then you move on. But for me, I get it, and I fully understand that, and I'm all about, hey, let's reduce the travel, let's keep these guys fresh and ready to go as much as we can. But my problem when you do that is, like I know, for example, Boston has Orlando 2 days in a row in the middle of December. Well, if you come in and let's say, a key guy on either side rolled an ankle in the game before and he's going to be out a few days, well, now all of a sudden you're not going to get a real sense of how those teams really match up. And that's the same thing you kind of get when teams play, all their games. Like every year there's at least, 1, 2, or 3 of those situations where it's like, oh, this team's already played their entire slate of 4 games against this other team, and that just, to me, it seems like that's extremely unnecessary.
Yeah, just kind of wild, especially like Jay Morgan said with the Mavericks. I mean, all 4 games you play them is going to be really before you really get into January and get into February, which is kind of crazy. Keith, I saw either yesterday or earlier today, you quote tweeted, I think, a video of Kevin Durant and Chet Holmgren in an open run, and you were talking about Chet kind of returning from injury last year, kind of this being his rookie season. He'll be eligible for Rookie of the Year since he didn't play any games last year. How much can a guy like that, I mean, we saw what he did in Summer League. You see him in these open runs with veteran players. How much can he add to an Oklahoma City team that was really fun to watch last year?
Yeah, big time, because their biggest weakness was their big man rotation. Yeah. They kind of cobbled it together all year as best they could, but now you add him in there, and whether we'll find out, right? I think there's still very much a work in progress with that roster. Is he going to start at the 5, and then they still kind of play the 4 guards and wings around him, or are they going to move him over to the 4 and go with another kind of more traditional type center at the 5? What's that going to look like? And I think they'll mix and match throughout the course of the year, but yeah, he's going to be a huge addition to that team. That team took a major step forward last year. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander established himself. He's a superstar, right? He is absolutely there. That's the level he's at. And then you saw guys like Josh Giddey step up and take steps forward in their game. Rookie Jalen Williams, the wing one, was really good. The big one for a second-round pick exceeded, I think, almost all expectations and played really good. Lou Dort still does what he does. That's a team that's just got a lot of guys that you really kind of, you look at that roster, you're like, and I like him. And next thing you know, you're 12, 13 guys deep into the roster, and you're like, man, I kind of like all these guys. And now you're adding Holmgren to that as almost, a quote-unquote free addition to that team, right? And now you're going to see, them really kind of, fill a hole that they had and maybe step forward even more. I mean, the Western Conference, it's like we took like a year or 2 hiatus of it being, completely loaded top to bottom. And it's like, yeah, that was cute. Let's get right back to it. And we're right back there where, almost all these teams, you look at them like, boy, they're going to be really good.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We've got the FIBA World Cup coming up here in a couple weeks. It will get started. But I've been watching a lot of these exhibition games, especially the ones involving the United States. Their last exhibition was against Team Spain and Santi Aldama, who really had a good year for the Grizzlies last year. It was a big part of that Spain team in that exhibition. I'm curious, I mean, we saw Santi Aldama play in the G League his rookie year and look really good down in South Haven, and then become a big factor off the bench for the Grizzlies last year. How much do you think he can help this team off the bench after kind of this run in World Cup, where most of the reports coming back have been he's been pretty good with the Spain team that a lot of people think could be a real factor?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's going to have a great season for Memphis. We know, we all love Jaren Jackson Jr., but we know he's probably going to miss 10 to 20 games, right? I think I can feel confident kind of penciling that in. And then Steven Adams, I think, generally he's been more healthy than not, but I think what you may see with him this year, you may see the Grizzlies kind of say, hey, let's try to limit him. Well, let's keep him down, in the low 20 minutes early on until we have him all season. And then that means somebody's got to play at that big spot as the third big. And I think that's going to be Santi Aldama. I think he can play next to both of those guys and can do a lot of things. I think, we're really kind of seeing like, whoa, wait a minute, this guy's offensive game, it is really well-rounded. And, I think he's going to, be somebody who just knows how to play. He knows how to finish. He can hit jump shots when the ball comes his way. I think he's in for a big, big year in Memphis. And I think that could, potentially free them up if they get to a point where it's, all right, hey, it's trade time. They may be able to look at, hey, it stinks that Brandon Clark may miss, the bulk, if not all, of the regular season. Right. Recovering from that torn Achilles, and that could turn him into, a trade chip where they're like, hey, let's, maybe move him to fill a hole down the line if one develops or whatever. So, yeah, I'm very high on Santi Aldama. I think he's going to become, a bit more of a household name this year. I think he's in for a big, big season.
I would love that. Last thing for you, Keith, you wrote on Spot Track about some of the cap space and spending power for some of these teams in the NBA. You kind of broke them down into different groups. The Super Tax teams, you have the Memphis Grizzlies in that group of 6 teams that are in the Super Tax. And you basically said when kind of talking about these groups of teams that obviously these are the teams that are spending a ton of money and really made up of a lot of contenders. And so I think a lot of Grizzlies fans excited to see kind of this team starting to kind of form that nucleus as you've got a lot of these guys, these young guys that you've drafted getting on their second and third contracts. And you kind of even said that much of the Grizzlies have kind of been that they're coming team, and now they're here. I know this year is going to be a little different because Ja will be out for the first 25 games. But when you look at this Grizzlies team going forward with this nucleus they built, how big of a contender can they be next year and the year after that?
Yeah, they can win the West, right? They're in the mix. I think, very much. I believe that they can win the Western Conference. I've been saying to people whenever I talk about the Grizzlies, they were a cute story for a couple years. They're not cute anymore. Now they're here, and it's time to start winning. And what we do in really all sports, but really very much so in the NBA, is we love teams when they're on the come-up, right? Yeah. It's like, oh, boy, they're coming. They're going to be good. We're all excited. Then when they get there, it's like, all right, they're here now. And if they don't deliver, we're very quick to be like, all right, they didn't get it done. It's time to start breaking these guys up. Let's look at a different direction. So for Memphis, yeah, they're here now. They've got to get, that kind of, success to come along with that. It's really time for them, and they've got all the pieces in place. This year, yeah, it may be a little bit bumpy in that first third of the season without Ja, but he'll get back, and when he's in there, provided he's himself and he's able to do the things they need him to do, they should be ready to go and be a really good, competitive, tough team. But that's not enough. You've got to be a contender now. They really got to push forward, and I think they have that ability.
Oh. I'm feeling good about it. I, like you said, I like this nucleus that they have built. And the time seems to be now for them after you kind of get past these 25 games or so for the Grizzlies. But Keith, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll do it again next week.
Thanks, Keith.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Keith. Keith Smith from Spot Track. He joins us every Thursday afternoon to talk about the NBA. And it's a big day. A lot of people talking about the NBA because of the schedule released today. It's just kind of another mile marker where you can say, hey, we're getting closer and closer to the season.
Yeah, I guess so. What mile marker is it?
This will probably be mile marker 5 or 6, I would say. You've got the draft and the free agency.
All right, then. So 5th mile. Got it.
Maybe 4th.
4th mile, got it.
But close to that. But I know a lot of people are excited. Basketball right around the corner. Football right around the corner. We're really starting to get into the busy points of the year. And I know you're looking for a place to catch all of these games. Have a night out with your friends and catch a ball game. And you got to get over to Bell Tavern, located at 117 Barbaro Alley, right behind 117 Prime. Open from 4 to 11 Wednesday through Saturday and 4 to 8 on Sunday. I know nobody likes a loud bar, but that's the opposite of Bell Tavern. It's a great place to really enjoy a game and hang out with your buddies, with your friends for a night out. Start the night with a gourmet burger or one of their great cocktails in a quiet, dimly lit bar. And it's not just the burgers. Bell Tavern has the best bar food in Memphis and the coldest beer in the city. 117 Prime, just walk through their dining room and you're at the best bar in town. For more information about our friends over at Bell Tavern, call 901-249-6580. That's 901-249-6580, or go online to belltavern.com. Let's go ahead and get to a break. We already have one Major League Baseball game in the books, another one going on right now. So when we come back, we'll talk some baseball.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Homer Skelton Hyundai Genesis in Olive Branch has an offer you can't refuse. They will pay you to do business with them if you want luxury. And I'm talking the Genesis G70 car. If you would love to have that kind of new technology, they will give you a $1,000 rebate when you finance with Genesis Motor Finance. In other words, they'll pay you $1,000 to do business with them, and you get brand new luxury. You can't beat it. That's Homer Skelton Hyundai Genesis, right at the corner of Craft Road and Highway 78 in Olive Branch. Homer Skelton Hyundai Genesis in Olive Branch, where customer retention is amazing. There's a reason. They take care of you with a team that's been together for a long time. Whether it's finance or whether it's service, you can't beat them. Homer Skelton Hyundai Genesis.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli, with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. Okay, easy now. You're teaching your kid how to parallel park. Ouch! Turns out he likes to do it by feel. Don't worry, eBay Motors has bumpers, taillights, trunk lids, license plate holders, 122 million parts. Pull up just a little bit. And headlights. They've got lots of headlights. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
Hotsy Pressure Washers and Detail Supplies of Memphis takes it all off. They are the #1 cleaning and equipment provider, period. Big or small, Hotsy has the solution. From hot water and cold water pressure washers to industrial soaps and detail supplies, Hotsy has you covered. For our Sports 56 fans, you get 20% off all detail products, so don't miss out on this amazing deal. Call Hotsy today, 901-379-0550, or visit their showroom, conveniently located at Austin P and I-40.
From brilliant to beautiful, we've heard lots of words used to describe the Sissy's Log Cabin experience, but we think one sums it up best: extraordinary. Here, you'll find an unparalleled selection, impeccable service, and an experience that makes you feel like family. Shop online at sissyslogcabin.com or stop by one of our 6 locations. Find your trusted jeweler for a lifetime only at Sissy's Log Cabin, because life's too short for ordinary jewelry.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
One baseball game already in the books today. The Seattle Mariners beat the Royals 6-4 in the final game of that series. The Mariners leave Kansas City with a 3-1 series victory. But
how about that?
It wasn't easy for them because Kansas City was trying to play spoiler for much of this series and really played well again today. I think they led late in the 6th inning, but a couple of late home runs. I think Julio hit one, Cal Raleigh hit another one. We got one game in action right now, Red Sox and Nationals. Red Sox, another team trying to make a push for the wild card. They're tied right now 1-1 against the Nationals, 2-on in the bottom of the 5th. For Washington, so we'll see if they can get a run across with only one out. Not a big slate of games tonight, but I think some fun ones.
Today's a slow day, travel day.
Yeah, it's a travel day. It's Thursday, but I mean you've got a revenge game for Jose Quintana against the Cardinals later tonight.
That's not a revenge game.
Is it not?
You don't get to revenge half a season.
I guess that's true.
You don't get your revenge.
I guess that's true. Trick Skubal on the mound later for the Tigers.
I'm excited for that game.
Zach Gallen on the mound for the D-backs going up against Rich Hill and the Padres.
Zach Gallen had a really good outing his last outing.
He did, which weird because I saw somebody give out a pick earlier today on Twitter, a guy that is a baseball handicapper.
Fading Zach Gallen.
Yeah, he was fading Zach Gallen and said to take San Diego tonight.
Well, maybe he hadn't been great.
No.
Actually, you know what? He really's been pretty good.
He's been good this year.
I don't know why we're fading Zach Gallen. I can't justify it for you.
I don't know. Then the final game tonight, Brewers versus Dodgers, Corbin Burns versus Lance Lynn, who making probably his third
Cardinal revenge game
for the Dodgers. Not a Cardinal revenge game.
It could be.
I guess
if he was playing the Cardinals,
but he's not. So
Ole Miss revenge game.
Ole Miss revenge game. So kind of a slow day today in Major League Baseball. But last night, a lot of good outings. I thought the biggest one, really the only one I want to talk about from last night, White Sox and Cubs. Mentioned it earlier.
Crazy. Morel throwing his helmet a million feet in the air.
It was great.
I love that guy, though.
He's a good player.
We remember when he was called up earlier this year. We were watching him because he just went off for a killing right when he was called up, and he's been real good.
He has been really good and was huge last night. A game where the White Sox kind of led all night, and the Cubs really had issues until late in the game scoring runs. I mean, only 4 runs. 3 of those 4 runs came in the 9th inning. Very easily could have been swept by the White Sox, and so Christopher Morel, he hits a walk-off homer, throws his helmet, rips his jersey off.
It seemed like everybody was hype at home plate, not just him though. So they were excited to get that win.
They needed that one. I mean, we've been talking about the Cubs as kind of a team that could make a run in this bad division, maybe at least get a wild card spot or win that division. I know you're very high on them in terms of the division, not really just as a team. I mean, after a couple of losses, I'm sure they were ecstatic to get a win there last night.
Yeah, you'd think so. I mean, but you never know. I mean, they haven't played good baseball.
Mm-hmm.
we'll see if that keeps up.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Kind of some off-the-field baseball news. Wander Franco, who has not traveled with the team, didn't travel with the team to San Francisco. I don't know where they're traveling now, if they're traveling back home or where they're going this weekend. Let's see if I can find it real quick. They're going to be in Los Angeles to play the Angels tomorrow, so he won't be with
the
them
Los Angeles
either.
Angels of Anaheim.
That's right. But last night,
I know them.
Do you?
I've heard of them.
Good. Not
Have
a
you?
great team. I've heard them mentioned once or twice. I think they got a really good pitcher on their team.
Yeah, Japanese fella.
He's also he also hits as well.
Yeah, he's like Babe Ruth.
Yeah, which makes him better than everybody else because
That's right. He does both.
But last night, Hector Gomez, who is a baseball reporter that does a lot of reporting down in the Dominican Republic and regarding players with roots from the Dominican Republic. He tweeted last night, he tweeted 2 days ago talking about the Attorney General of the Dominican Republic, says that there's been a complaint filed by a minor against Wander Franco. According to the Attorney General of the DR, it's another young woman, not the one on social media. So kind of when this whole story took place involving Wander Franco, there was this one girl that a lot of people were talking about. She had been making posts on social media, all of that. And so Hector Gomez was really the first one to report that it was another woman who had filed a complaint in the Dominican Republic. He tweeted last night, a person very close to the investigations into the case of Wander Franco, quote, it will be very unlikely that Wander Franco will play in Major League Baseball again, judging by the result of the investigations that are currently being carried out, which directly commit him to the accusations against him. So for Wander Franco, not looking good at all in this situation. And I mean, I said it the first day this happened, if any of these accusations are true at all, it's awful, and Wander Franco definitely does not need to be playing Major League Baseball anymore. So hopefully we can get some answers quickly, because this is just an awful situation from start to finish, kind of involving the young shortstop.
Seems like as of right now he won't be.
No, that's what it seems like. I mean, that's all the reporting would lead you to believe that.
It certainly would.
Certainly would.
Sad, man.
Is it? I mean, it's disgusting.
That's what makes it sad. Is he's a really good player. He's never going to play again because of this horrible thing.
And I don't feel bad for him at all.
Well,
or sad about it. I'm sad for the girls, but I don't feel sad for him at all.
That's probably the correct perspective.
Yeah.
God bless you.
God bless you. But it should be a fun weekend. Like you said, it's kind of travel day today, and we'll kind of get to a lot of weekend series. Cardinals start that weekend series tonight with the Mets. They called up, I think, only just one guy from Memphis today, but I was hearing a lot of rumors that you could see a handful of call-ups in the next couple of days involving the Cardinals, including
the rumor mill,
including Mason Wynn. That he could be called up. This Rob Raines from St. Louis reported that he could be called up as early as Thursday, but if not, it would happen soon after that. And when it does happen, Wynn says he's 100% ready for the major leagues, and I would assume if you call him up, he would be an everyday starter for the team.
You saw the kid that was called up for the A's the other day that made his first start. Did you see that by chance?
No, I missed that.
It's like their number 4 or 5 prospect for the A's was called up the other day against the Cardinals, no less, because Tony Kemp was put on the IL.
I'm sorry. I am so sorry. I, for some reason, thought you said Angels.
No, the
You're
A's.
talking about the A's. Okay.
Did you see that then?
No,
you didn't see that either.
I heard about it, but I can't remember who it was. But I didn't.
But just a kid that was called up for the A's the other day. So it seems like it's that time of year. Is my point. Is that if you're out of it at this point, it's a time of year where you might just go ahead and call up one of these fellas.
Yeah. No, I mean we're getting there. Lawrence Butler.
That's the guy's name, Lawrence Butler?
It's who was called up for the A's, is what it looks like.
Interesting.
So
good for you, Lawrence.
Yeah, shout out to Lawrence.
Strong guy, Lawrence. Looks like a good player.
Looks like
good
good
in the
player.
uniform.
Oh yeah. So no, we're definitely getting to that time of year where you're going to call up a lot of guys, especially if you're not there at the top. There's no real shot for you to get into the wild card or win your division. You're going to start calling up a lot of these young guys.
Is there any room for a guy like Mason Wynn, though? Like, where are you going to put him? I mean, I understand you're not playing to win games, but, like, you're just going to bench a guy just because? Like, it just seems like a weird thing to do, right?
So I think this is just me,
And I know people are probably yelling. Any Cardinal fan is probably yelling at their radio right now, like, what do you mean? Why are you keeping this guy off where he stinks? Get him out of there. Well, you don't need to care about his feelings. Or, I don't know. Maybe they're not saying that. Anyway, go ahead. What you were going to say?
So I think what they thought... so Nolan Gorman was placed on the 10-day IL today for lower back strain, which his back has been bothering him for the last 2 years. But they ended up calling up Richie...
Nailed it.
How do you say his last name again?
I don't know.
He was with them earlier this season. They called up an outfielder from Memphis, and so I think a lot of people thought with Nolan Gorman, you've used him in the middle infield. Maybe you call up Mason Wynn and just put him in the middle infield. So maybe that's what this reporter was hinting at, is that, hey, Nolan Gorman's going on the IL later today, and they should or could, or I'm hearing that they're going to call up Mason Wynn. So that's where I'm guessing is how that came about.
Well, he's a really good player, and it would be an honor to get to see him play in the big leagues against good players and really get a gauge for how good this guy can be. But I'm fine just playing the season out with the Jim Oaks that the Cardinals are trying out there right now and just getting it over with.
I mean, I'd like to see him. I mean, get him some reps in the league and kind of
get him a rep or two.
Get him a rep or two. See what you got.
Or 3 or 4.
Or 4. Yeah, maybe. Did you see Lars Newbar last night? Just since we're talking.
Yeah, he got hit in the crotch.
Sure did. But it sounds like he's ready to go. Sounds like he went and had it looked at, had some MRIs, make sure everything was good. Came back negative, so. It looks like he's ready to go. I think I saw reports that
nothing ruptured.
No, so it looks like he's back with the team today, ready to roll tonight against the Mets. So that's good because that was scary. I mean, foul ball straight down into the ground and then straight back up.
That's how it goes, isn't it?
It was painful. It looked painful.
Well, it looked painful. You really have no idea how painful it was, you know?
That's why I said it looked painful.
Yeah.
It was painful to watch.
You're right. You did correct yourself before I could get in there with the sarcastic comment.
You just love being sarcastic.
And I went ahead with it anyway.
I don't know what your problem is.
I don't know. I don't have a problem.
You're just sarcastic.
No problem.
Today.
No problem.
No problem at all. I did see this just since we're talking about baseball. This happened a little bit ago. I think last weekend is when this happened. But I saw this stat. I think I saw it on Twitter, and I thought it was funny. Last Saturday, the Braves beat the Mets 21-3. That was part of a doubleheader. It was the early game in the doubleheader. They just go out there and absolutely crush the Mets 21-3.
Railroaded them.
And so a lot of people would call that sort of performance 21-3. How would you describe that outcome?
I just said it, railroading.
How else would you describe it?
A beat down.
How else would you describe it?
I don't know.
A football score.
Oh, 21-3. Football score.
I mean, it's a football game out there.
It's a football
in
score.
Atlanta. Did you know the Atlanta Falcons have never beaten an opponent 21-3?
How about that?
So Braves better football team than the Atlanta Falcons.
And they were down 28-3.
They were. No, they were up 28-3.
That's what I meant.
And then New England came back.
They sure did.
But the Braves, honestly, have been incredible to watch this year, from start to finish. I mean, with all of the weapons they have in that lineup, the pitching seems like it's coming together. I know you and John were talking about that starting pitching rotation earlier, and you brought up a great point about
That's
what was
a
it?
First.
Yeah, really. I'm not wrong there, but
thanks.
You made a good point, one of few, about how, remember a month, 2 months ago when the Braves were just calling up AAA pitchers to make like spot starts.
Yeah,
here
one
and there.
after another.
It was incredible.
Literally one after another. They would just bring up a new guy. It would be a new guy making a start that no one's ever heard of before.
Yeah, just some AAA. And then he would make like 1 or 2 starts, and they'd send him back down to AAA,
That's right.
bring somebody else
That's
up.
right. It was
He'd
a
make a couple
revolving
starts.
door, that last spot.
It was crazy. And so for them to be this good and to be able to do that they did that for a while. It was like a month.
Well, now they're all the way back at this point.
Now they're all the way back. They're seemingly healthy from start to finish. And so, this team looks like they have what it takes to win it all this year.
I agree, but the playoffs are a different animal. The Dodgers are also looking really good. Everyone's talking about how good the Dodgers look as well. So, hard to say.
I wonder what the World Series odds are right now.
I don't know. Do you have a handy-dandy sportsbook open? FanDuel Sportsbook, to be exact, because they do great work. Man.
Oh, yeah.
That's the best sportsbook for your money, I'll tell you.
Sure is.
It really is. It doesn't get any better than FanDuel Sportsbook. You can do the same-game parlays and all this stuff. They got nothing's better than this FanDuel Sportsbook. And what does the FanDuel Sportsbook say for you there? What do you do you see anything on the World Series odds there?
Keep
talking about how many good odds they have.
How great odds,
well,
if
so you look through there, you're going to see so many different things you can do, like same-game parlays, as I was just mentioning a minute ago. And they've got really good player props. The best. You think of a company that knows how to do player props, it's FanDuel, because they have done draft the daily fantasy stuff like that for a long time, where you draft your teams and stuff like that. Go ahead, Brian.
The Atlanta Braves are the favorites right now to win the 2023 World Series. That's courtesy of FanDuel.
Okay.
Plus 290 right now for the Braves.
Wow.
Next closest odds, Los Angeles Dodgers at plus 350.
Well, they can't both even get there, let alone win it.
Yeah. Third closest odds, Houston Astros.
Wow.
Plus
You
550.
hate them.
I do not.
Why
like
do you
the
hate
Astros.
them, Bryant?
I just don't like them.
Is there a reason?
No, not really. I just don't like them.
Got it.
Don't like the way they look.
Got it.
Don't like the way they play.
Sounds racist.
What?
I don't like the way they look?
As a team, not as people.
Oh,
Good Lord,
okay.
Jay Morgan.
Well, I didn't say it.
Well, you accused me of something.
I'm just trying to clarify.
Outrageous.
Get to the bottom. I was trying to get to the bottom of your meaning.
I do not like the makeup of
accusation?
the team. I don't like that accusation. I don't like the way they play. I don't like the stadium they play in. I don't like the city they play in. Don't like the Astros.
What about the Texans?
I actually made a franchise with the Texans.
So you like the Texans, but you just said you hate the city.
Let's go ahead and get to a break. When we come back, we'll get to big number of the day.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus of Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
It's usually a waste of time to give out a phone number for a business during a radio commercial because the people listening are probably in their car, and that's not a great time to write down a phone number. So it's easier to give you something you can remember, and that is BellTavern.com. It's that simple. And BellTavern.com doesn't just give you the hours for Bell Tavern, Memphis's best old-school bar. It also shows you the insane collection of signature drinks and mouth-watering pictures of the spectacular food at Bell Tavern. The next time you're done driving, check out BellTavern.com, and then get back in your car and go there.
Did you know nearly 40% of men under 40 and over 75% of men over the age of 40 experience sexual performance concerns? At the Memphis Men's Clinic, their experienced physician performs a comprehensive evaluation that determines which specific issues may interfere with your sexual performance. These issues can vary and range from anxiety to medical issues, low testosterone, or erectile dysfunction. The Memphis Men's Clinic has evaluated hundreds of men of all ages over the years and reestablished a normal sexual life. The Memphis Men's Clinic will work aggressively to resolve issues and allow you to restore your sexual health and overall well-being. That's the Memphis way. If you're 20 years old or 90 years old, come and get cared for the Memphis way. Treatment that's based on your specific needs after a professional clinical evaluation by their experienced board-certified physician. Call the Memphis Men's Clinic today at 901-443-0475 or visit memphismensclinic.com.
Is your roof leaking? Do you have water damage on your ceiling of your home or business? Do you need assistance gathering much-needed data and images from your storm-damaged roof for an insurance claim? Call Metro Builders, roof and restoration specialists, and schedule your free inspection. At Metro Builders, our team of Hague-certified technicians and fully trained estimators are ready to come out and evaluate any concerns you may have. Metro Builders Roof and Restoration. We accept all insurance carrier scopes. Call Metro Builders now. Each and every day, we provide clients many different types of data and estimates for their insurance carrier. These include estimate and photo reports of all damage, from the roof to water damage on rafters and ceilings and even studs and plates inside walls. Check out the local BBB for our 27-year history in construction in Memphis, or check us out online today at metrobuildersmemphis.com. That's metrobuildersmemphis.com for your local residential and commercial roofing and restoration experts. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Are you ready to conquer the great outdoors? Come in today and gear up with the dependable Suzuki King Quad ATV, because there's no rest for the rugged. Its unparalleled combination of power, versatility, and reliability allow you to tackle the toughest terrains with ease. And right now, there are lots of ways to help you hit the trail, including low APR financing and low monthly payments for qualified buyers, discounts for the military and first responders, and more. Roll into Olive Branch Motorsports in Olive Branch, Mississippi, and experience the Suzuki King Quad ATV's unmatched capabilities today.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets, with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli, with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
I know the sweetest thing in Memphis, and I know it's been around for 120 years. You know, I'm talking about Dinstall's, and it's time to stock up heavy on Cashew Crunch, Heavenly Crunch, Turtlettes, all of your favorite Dinstall's treats to watch the playoff games and to watch all the basketball. It's so easy to get. The sweetest thing in Memphis, all you have to do is head to Laurelwood or head to Germantown and Poplar right across from the hospital, or go where they make the candies. That's on Pleasant View. There's nothing that says Memphis better than Cashew Crunch with that little tinge of coconut, or the Turtlettes. Let's face it, there's nothing better than Dinstall's chocolate. That's the mainstay of all candies, isn't it? Milk chocolate, although their dark chocolate is pretty darn good. And if you get the peppermint with the dark chocolate and put it in the freezer, you're going to love it. So many ways to love Dinstall's. 115 years of making Memphis oh so sweet.
Upgrade your commute at Acura of Memphis. Seize the thrill and test drive one of our award-winning models, each packed with cutting-edge technology, luxurious amenities, and a driving experience that's sure to awaken your inner self. Driving shouldn't be a chore, it should be an adventure. Advance your drive today, shop our aggressive lease and finance options now, luxury is waiting at Acura of Memphis, or shop online 24/7, visit AcuraofMemphis.com.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Big Daddy.
Hello, Big Brand. It's a guy, he wants to be big, then he gets big, he doesn't want to be big anymore, then he gets small, but the suit's too big.
Big Daddy.
The big boy.
You're a big guy. I think she's trying to pull a fast one on Big Daddy.
The big number of the day.
So Brett, even though he's not here, has submitted two big numbers today that he wants.
He's a big number machine.
He is a big number. I mean, even when he's supposed to be relaxing, he can't get enough of big number of the day. So his first big number is 85. Big number 85. This year, the steal rate at third is 85%, wow, which is really incredible. That's extremely high. His second one, though, I mean, that one's a really good big number, but this one might be even crazier. This one comes from Matt Brown on Twitter. Let's see, the big number here is 1. Since November 8th, 2015, only 4 teams have been ranked number 1 in the AP poll: Georgia, Alabama, Clemson, and LSU. 1981 alone, just 1981, had 7 different schools reach number 1 in that season. But since November 8th, 2015, only 4 teams have been ranked number 1 in the Associated Press poll, which is just incredible to think about.
Elite company, is it
right? Elite, extremely elite company. Do you want to go next with your big number?
I really like it when you go before me. It's just like one of those things, you know?
I'm going to stick to one of the big topics.
Do you have any things like that, Bryant? Are you finicky at all in that way? Do you have things like that's one of my things? Is like you have to go before me. Do you have any things like that in your life?
Oh, I'm sure. The way I eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Oh yeah.
The peanut butter has to be on the bottom.
Is that right?
Oh yeah.
Well, what if you just flip the sandwich over, or it doesn't work that way?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, if I bite into it and the jelly's at the bottom, I have to flip it over.
So it's not like a weird thing where like you have to know that the peanut butter was placed on the bottom when it was made.
No. It's just like if I put it in like a Ziploc bag to take it somewhere. Like when I was in high school or something, or like middle school, and I'd take my lunch to school. If I would open the Ziploc bag, I would have to make sure I knew like which side had the peanut butter on it, because that would be on the bottom.
Fascinating.
So that's the first one that comes. I'm sure I have a lot, but that's the first one that comes to mind for me, at least. My big number, I'm going to go back to the NBA. There's a lot of talk today around the country with schedule release. 2 big numbers that tie together. 41 is the first one, and 4 is the second. 41 represents the amount of national television games for Golden State Warriors this year. 41 nationally televised games. That is the most in the NBA. Right behind them with 40 national televised games is the Los Angeles Lakers. 4 on the other end is the least amount of nationally televised games this season. A couple of teams hold that record. Charlotte with 4, Detroit with 4, which is a shame because I really like that Detroit roster. Houston only has 4 nationally televised games, and the Washington Wizards also only have 4 nationally televised games. So that's 4 teams with only 4 national televised games, and then Golden State leading the charge with 41.
Tell you what, that's not the side to be on. You want all the national.
You want all the national televised games, absolutely.
My big number is WNBA again. I'll do it quick here.
Okay.
Liberty and Aces are playing again. My big number is 10. That's double figures. How about that?
Wow.
Brianna Stewart scored double figures in 64 straight games, one shy of tying the longest streak in the last decade. So
How about that?
That'll be interesting to see tonight.
And Brianna Stewart for the New York Liberty.
That's right.
They beat the Vegas Aces in the Commissioner Cup the other night. They play them again tonight, so a little rematch tonight. That's why you.
That's what I said.
No, I know, but you didn't say they played the Aces tonight.
Oh, I did. The Liberty and
did you?
Aces are back at it again Thursday. That's what I said.
Oh, I didn't hear that. I just thought you said tonight.
That's the sentence.
Very nice, very nice. So
Thank
that'll be
you.
fun. That'll be fun to watch. That'll do it for our second hour. Let's go ahead and get to a break. And when we come back, we'll talk about the Grizzlies and their schedule release with Rob Fisher.
Start your day the right way at La Palapa with the biggest, baddest breakfast burrito around. Chorizo, cheese, rice, beans, and eggs served with fresh salsa, and it's served all day. La Palapa has daily lunch specials, all served with rice and beans, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Try a torta, breaded chicken, steak, chorizo, or ham served with mayo, avocado, lettuce, tomato, and jalapenos, all in a hoagie. Plus amazing soups and dinner entrees, all at La Palapa, 5255 Summer Avenue. La Palapa, the little hut with big taste.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
Response to the all-new Genesis Diamonds has been incredible. Hey, it's Eric Hasseltine, and people are loving what Genesis has brought to Memphis. It's a mind-blowing selection and prices you never thought possible. What people really love about Genesis is the transparency and the education. Genesis is revealing all the long-held secrets of the diamond industry. They teach you how to buy like a dealer buys and how to understand the way diamonds are priced by the wholesalers, how slight variations in size and clarity can translate into thousands in savings. At Genesis, their non-commissioned diamond experts are there to guide you every step of the way. Their diamond education will make you a better, more informed consumer. I'm telling you, don't buy a diamond anywhere, not a natural diamond, not a lab-grown diamond, until you check out what you can get here. Discover Genesis Diamonds, the store that's forever changing how people in Memphis buy diamonds and fine jewelry. Now open in Poplar Commons at Poplar & Perkins Extended, the official jeweler of the Tennessee Titans.
Football season is about to kick off, and FanDuel is giving you the chance to win all season long, because right now when you bet on a Super Bowl winner, you can get bonus bets every time they win in the regular season. Just pick any team to win the Super Bowl, and you'll get bonus bets for every victory. You can use your bonus bets on spreads, player props, over-unders, and more. How about Cincinnati? They nearly pulled the trick 2 years ago. I'm riding them. Great quarterback, solid offensive line, talent on defense, and consistency with a coaching staff. Plus, they've got experience in the big games recently. They've been close. I think they finally knocked down the door. So visit FanDuel.com/win and start earning bonus bets with America's #1 sportsbook. That's FanDuel.com/win.
21 plus and present in Tennessee. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call TN Redline 1-800-889-9789.
Check, check. You might already know about the Acura MDX. V6 engine, seat 7. We have an announcement. We swapped that engine with a specially made 3-liter turbo V6, race-tuned the steering and suspension, and for the first time, added Type S performance to an SUV. So we're just gonna drop this right here. The Acura MDX and first ever MDX Type S. Acura, precision crafted performance.
Visit Acura of Memphis for summer of performance deals. AcuraofMemphis.com.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time as we start our third and final hour. Bryant Dacus and Jay Morgan Harder with you. No Brett Norsworthy today or the rest of this week, the rest of next week as he's taking some time off before the start of the college football season. But joining us now from Bally Sports and Grind City Media, Rob Fisher joins us now to talk about the Grizzlies with the schedule released today. A lot of people getting excited for the start of the season. Rob, thanks so much for joining us. And what'd you think, I guess, kind of the first thoughts when you saw the Grizzlies schedule today?
Yeah, when I've gone through it, the thing that stands out to me is I think it's a pretty balanced schedule. And what I mean by that is I don't think there are any, horrible patches, and I don't think there are any easy patches. I think there are a couple of tough stretches of 6 games, but, they might be at home and they should be winnable games. But looking at it, there's not a month that stands out that could be really bad or a month that stands out that could be really good for you. It feels like it's going to, 2 wins, 1 win, 1 win, 1 loss, 2 losses, 1 win, 2 wins. It feels like it's that sort of schedule. So it's challenging, and it's challenging throughout.
Absolutely. Well, and for you at least, I know one thing everyone looks forward to for the schedule releases is when you post your schedule that you have all highlighted and everything circled and everything kind of pointed out for people to look at. How long does that take you to get all of that, take a look at it, and kind of jot down all those notes every year?
Couple hours.
Wow.
And then when I'm done, I start thinking of other things and go back and scribble on it a little bit more. And it's funny. I mean, this year, even putting it together, I left the room and thought I was pretty good, thought everything looked good. And I thought, oh, my God, I forgot to even put when game 26 is against for Jaws return.
Yeah.
So had to go back and do that. So it was but it's fun every year to kind of look and just pick it apart and see where I'm going to be traveling, see when I'm going to be home, see if I'll be home for Christmas, and all of those things. So it's always fun to do.
Well, you talk about where you're traveling. I think we've talked about this before, but where is your favorite city to travel to in the NBA season?
Boy, I don't know. It used to be San Francisco. San Francisco's really cool. But it might be New York. New York's great. Where we stay, we're right down the road from Madison Square Garden, and just to be around there and get good food and enjoy some nights in New York City is always a blast. So that might be my favorite. San Francisco's up there because of the food, and great meals that you can get, and so always enjoy that. And then Phoenix with the weather is always spectacular too. And we always seem to be in Phoenix around Christmas, which is nice.
Rob,
we are again. Well, December 2nd we are this year.
Rob, one thing that struck me was how quickly they play all 4 games with the Mavericks before January 11th, I think. And then I think they play the Jazz 3 times by the mid-December or something like that too. So you're probably more used to it because I think there's a couple of those every year with the Grizzlies schedule. What do you think of those type of kind of mass quantity games in a short amount of time? Do you like that aspect of the schedule? Do you dislike it, or is it just kind of 6.5 in one and 6 in one, half a dozen in the other? You don't really care either way.
I would prefer for them all to be spread out, just because you like seeing certain teams or enjoy going to certain places, and so you'd like to spread them out throughout the course of the season. But what I do like are these little 2-game series that they're doing now. And last year the Grizzlies had 5 of them. This year they just have 3, and 2 of them are against Portland. I mean, you go to Portland and play both games there for the season, and then you come home and you play 2 games against Portland here, and that's why you play them here for the season. You do 2 games with Houston at a home and home. So those are fun because they kind of feel playoff-like, where teams make adjustments in that second game, and you see what the adjustments are, and those are kind of fun. And teams, guys get fed up with each other a little bit. So I enjoy those. But it sucks. Like Portland, we should go there twice this year, and we're just going to go once. So that's disappointing.
When you look kind of at the first 25 or so games of the season, kind of that time when Ja Morant will be out, I think some hard games, some tough opponents on that schedule. We kind of went through it earlier. I think we said about 13 and 12, 12 and 13, somewhere in that range is where we kind of predict the Grizzlies to be when Ja returns. What do you think would be a good record to have kind of at that game 26 when Ja comes back?
I think you'd say around 500.
Yeah.
So, both of those are fine. Obviously, you're going to shoot for more. I don't think the Grizzlies players would tell you, yeah, we'll take 13. Because I think they'll shoot for a lot more than that. But, you got to navigate a lot of stuff. And, that's the in-season tournament that's going on. You mentioned Dallas. I mean, you're playing him, 3 times before he even returns. You're playing a lot of road games before he returns. But a lot of the road games aren't that difficult. Like I said, I don't think I think it's a very manageable schedule. So I think 500 is at least what you'd be looking for.
Sure. Absolutely. I see you have them highlighted here. I know the NBA has really been trying to push the in-season tournament starting this year. They had the rollout earlier this week, but for the Grizzlies in November, 3 Friday night games, 1 Tuesday night game. What do you think of this kind of new idea of the in-season tournament for the NBA?
I'm embracing it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really interested to see how it'll be received by players, by coaches, and by fans. I've mentioned this to a lot of people. I'm not a huge soccer fan,
right?
And this is very soccer-like.
Very.
So to me, when it comes to baseball and football and hockey and basketball, when you win, you get a W. When you lose, there's a loss. And you're playing in your standings, and that's all that matters. Now all of a sudden you're playing in this tournament, so it kind of blows my mind a little bit. But I'm willing to embrace it. I do like the fact that the games actually count as regular season games. Yeah. So people like me, they standings still count and games still go up in the standings. But I'll be interested to see, and as far as how it will go. They're regular season games until you get to semifinals, and those are still counting as regular season games. But if you're a competitor and a professional athlete, and you're in a situation where you can win something, be a champion of something, you'll play.
Oh yeah,
and you'll go for it, and they'll have financial incentive to go for it. So they'll go for it, and I hope it works, and I hope I love it. I'm embracing it. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Rob, I want to change gears a little bit with you because I know you're an avid gambler, like Bryant and I both. I mean, you love to place a wager just as much as the next person. And we are now single digits away from college football being played. So I need to ask you, do you have any plays on like week 1, week 2 game odds that are already out there? Do you have any futures that you've been telling everybody this is a lock?
Someone's
you need to
for
take
some
this
plays.
win total. What do I need to be betting on for college football season starting right now?
San Jose State plus the 30.5 at USC.
I love it.
Opening week.
I love it.
Mark it down.
Problem with that, though, is, Rob, it's on Pac-12 Network. Nobody can watch it.
That's very true.
It's going to be hard to follow. I mean, it's a great bet, but I'm not going to be able to watch the game.
Because that does suck. I should give you one that you can watch on TV. I'm surprised that's on Pac-12 Network. I mean, hell, there aren't that many games in week 1.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, you got the, number 6 team in the country in USC, and you're throwing them on Pac-12 Network? It's a mess.
That's terrible.
Yeah,
and they're 30-point favorite, and they're not going to cover. I hate doing futures, man. I hate doing futures.
Me too.
I'm not patient enough to wait
I'm right there with
on
you.
my bet. So I've never done futures. I do like, what is it? I like Arkansas's under this year, and I like Mississippi State's under this year.
I get it.
Rob, I'm with you too. I'm not patient enough to even go through and do the work to find futures. So what I do is I ask radio guests like you that come on, and hopefully they've done the work for me, and I can just reap all the rewards at the end of it.
Terrible, Jim Morgan.
Yeah, exactly.
It's awful.
Because I hate it. I'm like, I don't know. And then just to watch all year, and by week 2 it could be dead, or by week 12 it's still alive, and I'm freaking out. I mean, but I don't have that money in my hand that whole time. I can't
true.
do it yet. I need to be paid that night.
I need it now. That's right. Talking to Rob Fisher from Bally Sports and Grind City Media. I know we talked a lot about the schedule, but Dylan Brooks' return game is going to be on December 15th, a Friday night. What's the reception like for Dylan Brooks when he gets announced in that starting lineup?
Well, here's the thing. Hold on, I'm trying to turn around actually because this is an amazing story for the radio. My daughter I just picked up my daughter from soccer practice.
Nice.
And she put all her stuff in the car, and then she closed the door, and I left. And I just got about 2 miles away and realized my daughter is not in the car. So I'm now flying down Walnut Grove, and I told my daughter to, that if she was getting in the car, I gave her a shush sign because I'm doing an interview, and then I left without her. And oh my God, I can't believe how far that I got.
Well, I mean, you're just used to her just doing a good job in the back seat when you're doing radio spots. She's being so quiet that you didn't even notice.
I did. I just put my hand back there like to give her a 5, and I got nothing in return. And I looked back there, and there's nothing there but this big crate of her books.
That is the funniest thing I've heard all day.
You got the important thing, all of the gear and books and equipment and stuff like that. I mean, that's all the stuff you got. That's good at least.
I mean, yeah.
Oh my God, I'm the parent of the year.
I didn't know.
And her
thinking
phone's in her bag, so she can't even call.
Oh man.
Oh my God.
Well, hey, at least you didn't get all the way home.
Now the key is going to be as I pull up. Now the key is whether or not she's there, or whether she's run off with someone else.
Let's say she's gotten a ride. Yeah.
Wow.
One of her friends, or if she told the coach that I'm a horrible parent and I left without her. Let's see. All right, we're pulling up now.
All right.
And
I love this play-by-play.
We're going to see her. And there's a good chance that she will not be quiet when she gets in the car.
At this point, no. All bets are off.
We might need to hear her side of the story on this. I don't know.
But I was wondering how she got up here. Maybe she's still down on the field. There she is.
Oh, thank goodness.
Oh, my God, she's crying. I feel so terrible.
No.
Baby.
No.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Come on. Oh, and I'm on a radio interview.
No.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, hey, girl. You good? You good? Say hi to the people. Say, what's up, people? Hi.
Hey.
Hey.
Glad we're all good now.
Man. Oh, my gosh. I'm an idiot. Parent of the year. I thought you were in the car. Unbelievable. Jeez. I'm so sorry. Sorry, babe. All right. So, what was your question?
The original question was, what's the reception for Dylan Brooks?
Oh, Dylan Brooks. Dylan Brooks. Well, I think it's great on the schedule because they'll play Dylan Brooks on the 13th of December in Houston.
Mm-hmm.
And then he plays here on the 15th of December, 2 nights later, in Memphis.
Oh, yeah.
So, between the 12th, the 13th, and the 14th, he's going to be asked every question about the head coach.
Mm-hmm.
He'll be asked every question about Ja. He'll be asked every question about Memphis, the Grizzlies, the Rockets versus the Grizzlies, all of that. So there's a chance that Dylan could get a great reception from the crowd on the 15th when he makes his first appearance at FedEx Forum. But there's also a chance of Dylan doing what Dylan does, and that's poking the bear.
Mm-hmm.
And if he pokes the bear, what will the reception be? I don't think it would be very pleasant. So I think the reception for Dylan could go either way. And I can't wait. I'm glad that they're playing him.
That's a great point.
Rob, we were talking about with Dylan earlier, and I hypothesized because they get the Rockets so many times, especially, that every side is going to get their vindication. Dylan will get his vindication in some form in a game where he scores a good amount of points and he feels vindicated. Grizzlies fans might get vindication through a game. Maybe he plays poor when they come to town here. Can you see a scenario where they both feel happy at the end of the day with the way that the result of only one of the games this season is gone?
Yeah, absolutely. I think. Let me tell you the vindication game that would be Boston beating Boston for the first time in like forever for Marcus Smart. Now that would be fantastic. But I'm expecting. I don't know. I'm expecting big things when the Grizzlies play Houston. I'm expecting big things when they play Boston, and I'm really expecting big things when they play Golden State. I can't wait.
Yeah, definitely very exciting. I know there's been a lot of talk this offseason about new players added to the roster, but also you've got a couple of guys playing in FIBA this offseason with the FIBA World Cup coming up, and Jaren Jackson Jr. has looked really good in the first couple of exhibition games. You're hearing great things from the coaches and his teammates from camp and how he's looked out there as their center. How big is kind of this opportunity for Jaren as a player to just kind of continue to grow and progress under some of these great coaches that they have with Team USA?
It's huge. It's getting reps. It's getting advice from other voices, whether it's great players around the league that you're playing with or the great coaches that are on that staff. And just getting more, just adding to what you do and just getting another voice, I think is huge for him. Especially when he looks dominant, and I think he's going to be dominant in this role. And I think they're going to look for him to be dominant. So I think Jaren's about to take off to another level, and I'm excited to watch it because I thought he did last year, and I think he's only getting better.
Yeah. The other guy playing in FIBA, Santi Aldama, we kind of saw that matchup in an exhibition game over the weekend with Spain taking on the United States. For Santi, I mean, we saw such a big jump last year after his rookie year. He spent most of it down in South Haven with the hustle. How big of a factor do you think Santi will be in year 3?
Hopefully he'll be a build on – I mean, if he's anything – if he just is a little bit better than year 2, I think we got a really good Santi. And I would expect that he'll improve a little bit from what we saw last year. Last year was a huge step for him, and it was great to see. I don't know if Santi takes another huge leap, but I would expect him to improve even more. I mean, he's become, and he's a guy that we can say today, he is going to fit a role and be a factor for the Grizzlies. And I expect him to be that, and I think this experience for him as well is just as great. It's just more knowledge, more experience, and more competition, and I think it's something that all these young players could use, and they're getting the opportunity, and I think taking advantage of it.
Yeah. Last thing for you, Rob, there's been a lot of talk this offseason about Zaire Williams. He's battled with injury, spent some time in the G League last year, and then a lot of people thought that it was going to be a great opportunity for him to play in Summer League. The team opted to put him on a workout plan, kind of continue that rehab going into the season. What do you expect from Zaire this year?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I hate to be honest with you, but I don't know. I tell you what we hope to see is him build on his rookie year. And what you don't hope to see is anything like last year.
Yeah.
And frankly, what you hope to see is not even in the middle of last year in his first year. You want to see him build on what he did his rookie year.
Right.
And hopefully he's healthy, and hopefully he's in the gym, and hopefully that'll be the case.
Yeah.
But the only concern with Zaire to me is that you use the word hope a lot.
You do.
In front of what you're expecting from Zaire. So I don't know what to expect, but I'm hoping for the best.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think, like you said, if you can get back what you got from him when he was a rookie, you've definitely got something there. But I think last year just got a lot of people worried about what Zaire can be for this team. But, Rob, thanks so much for joining us, and let's do this again soon.
Thanks, Rob.
Will do. Good to talk to you.
Thanks, Rob. Rob Fisher from Bally Sports and Grind City Media. Joining us to talk about the Grizzlies and their upcoming season with the schedule coming out today. I like what he said. It seems like a very balanced schedule and could really shape out very well for the Grizzlies this year in terms of wins and losses. And I also liked what he said about Dylan. I didn't even kind of consider that. You've already seen Houston a couple days before. He's going to be asked a ton. Every single question he's going to be asked by the media is going to be about, hey, this is your former team. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? Yada, yada, yada. So, that's going to go into a lot of that kind of reception that he gets when he's announced here in Memphis for the first time.
It could go either way. It really could.
It really could. It really could. But let's go ahead and get to an early break, and when we come back, we'll talk about what's trending.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Are you ready to conquer the great outdoors? Come in today and gear up with the dependable Suzuki King Quad ATV because there's no rest for the rugged. Its unparalleled combination of power, versatility, and reliability allow you to tackle the toughest terrains with ease. And right now, there are lots of ways to help you hit the trail, including low APR financing and low monthly payments for qualified buyers, discounts for the military and first responders, and more. Roll into Olive Branch Motorsports in Olive Branch, Mississippi, and experience the Suzuki King Quad ATV's unmatched capabilities today.
Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company, we have it all. From handmade Amish leather belts, fine and casual clothing, boots, casual boots, work boots, fancy boots, and even safety-toed boots. Lots of cowboy hats to choose from, even Nebo lights, good-looking duck head dress shirts, duck head caps, shorts, and pants. Tons of jeans from Ariat, Wrangler, Devil Dog, and Kimes Ranch jeans. At Hewlett & Dunn, we have a great selection of Old South t-shirts and caps. Fine clothing from dress to casual to Sunday best. Enjoy choosing from UFO's orthopedic-approved shoes. Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company. Boots of every size, every color, every skin. Great quality Western, work, and safety toe boots. Hewlett & Dunn Boots and Clothing Company. 111 North Center Street, Collierville. Hewlett & Dunn. Hewlett & Dunn, serving you and your family since 1961.
Did you know that driving under the influence of marijuana is illegal? Driving high will get you a DUI. And if you're wondering if law enforcement can tell you're driving high, well, everyone else can. Friends?
I can tell you drove high.
Parents?
I can tell when you drive high.
Relatives?
I can tell. You drove here high, didn't you?
So what makes you think law enforcement can't?
I can tell.
If you feel different, you drive different. Drive high, get a DUI. Paid for by NHTSA.
You've heard of James Gaddis Jewelers, but have you heard what they've done lately? Everything! A tremendous selection of diamonds and jewels, gold, silver, and much more. Lots of watches, tons of custom-made jewelry, fine gemstones, bracelets, necklaces, so many choices. Romantics will love the one-of-a-kind estate and vintage jewelry. James Gaddis has experts to help you with wedding and engagement rings, plus 2 repair experts for fine watches and jewelry. Layaway and financing available. James Gaddis Jewelers at 4900 Poplar.
Homer Skelton Hyundai Genesis in Olive Branch has an offer you can't refuse. They will pay you to do business with them if you want luxury. And I'm talking the Genesis G70 car. If you would love to have that kind of new technology, they will give you a $1,000 rebate when you finance with Genesis Motor Finance. In other words, they'll pay you $1,000 to do business with them, and you get brand new luxury. You can't beat it. That's Homer Skelton Hyundai Genesis, right at the corner of Craft Road and Highway 78 in Olive Branch. Homer Skelton Hyundai Genesis in Olive Branch, where customer retention is amazing. There's a reason. They take care of you with a team that's been together for a long time. Whether it's finance or whether it's service, you can't beat them. Homer Skelton Hyundai Genesis.
Listen each and every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. and join Ottawa Presbyterian Church for worship. Ottawa is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
I know the sweetest thing in Memphis, and I know it's been around for 120 years. You know, I'm talking about Dinstall's, and it's time to stock up heavy on Cashew Crunch, Heavenly Crunch, Turtlettes, all of your favorite Dinstall's treats to watch the playoff games and to watch all the basketball. It's so easy to get. The sweetest thing in Memphis, all you have to do is head to Laurelwood or head to Germantown and Poplar right across from the hospital, or go where they make the candies. That's on Pleasant View. There's nothing that says Memphis better than Cashew Crunch with that little tinge of coconut, or the Turtlettes. Let's face it, there's nothing better than Dinstall's chocolate. That's the mainstay of all candies, isn't it? Milk, chocolate, although their dark chocolate is pretty darn good. And if you get the peppermint with the dark chocolate and put it in the freezer, you're going to love it. So many ways to love Dinstall's. 115 years of making Memphis oh so sweet.
Upgrade your commute at Acura of Memphis. Seize the thrill and test drive one of our award-winning models, each packed with cutting-edge technology, luxurious amenities, and a driving experience that's sure to awaken your inner self. Driving shouldn't be a chore, it should be an adventure. Advance your drive today, shop our aggressive lease and finance options now, luxury is waiting at Acura of Memphis, or shop online 24/7, visit AcuraofMemphis.com.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
I'm with John Burgos from the world-famous Rendezvous in the Alley since 1948.
Brett, we have catered parties all over this country and all over the world, from Singapore, Australia to Central Park in New York, but many people don't realize how much we do locally. For holiday events, office parties, tailgating, birthday parties, you can't do better than the Rendezvous. For example, you can get a cheese and sausage tray for 15 to 300 people for $3.75 a person. You can even build your own nacho bar for $10.50 per person. All you need is a minimum of 15 people. In many cases, we can arrange delivery and full-service catering. We've even made it easy to get to-go items. You can just park at our front door in the alley, put on your flashes, and we'll get you going ASAP. For all your catering items and prices, go to hogsfly.com, click on menu, and drop down to catering.
Thank you, John. The Rendezvous, Mr. Charlie Burgos' Rendezvous in the Alley since 1948 and celebrating its 75th year.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Times. We've got about 30 minutes left in today's show, and we've got NFL football back tonight, week 2 of the preseason tonight between the Cleveland Browns and the Eagles.
I saw a report today. He's not playing in this game, but I did see a report today that Josh Allen's going to play a quarter and a half in the Bills' next preseason game.
Really?
How about that? Quarter and a half. That's a long time for preseason nowadays.
And that's interesting because in their last game, the Bills played a decent amount of their starters, if I remember.
Oh, did they really?
But he didn't play.
Oh, okay.
And
maybe that's the reason.
There was a handful of other starters, but that's just
2 games
weird.
of work. You're trying to get him in.
Yeah, but I'm just kind of surprised that you would think if you're going to play your starters, you'd play all of them.
Well, it might have said all starters a quarter and a half, but
maybe.
I know for sure it said Josh Allen. And he's the important one, isn't it?
Yeah, of course he is. I mean, he's the quarterback. He's the face of
the franchise.
Face of the franchise and the face of Madden this year. So I mean, it could be a.
Oh, I forgot that.
Madden curse.
Madden just came out.
Yeah, it sure did came out. It might not. I think pre-order release came out.
It's out. It's out today.
Oh, good. But tonight's game against Cleveland and Philadelphia, I think, will be interesting. 6:30 kickoff on NFL Network. But Dorian Thompson-Robinson, who he's DTR, he's now played in 2 games because they played in the Hall of Fame game. But he's looked really, really good. He came in the second half of both of the first 2 games, but has looked really impressive. 17 for 21 for 184 yards through the air and 47 rushing yards. I think that's through both games. But he's going to start tonight for the Browns.
Wow.
Which is really interesting because, I mean, he started the year projected on the depth chart when you kind of have everybody in there as the 4th quarterback on the roster. You've got, obviously, 2 guys in front of him right now. I think he's right now 3rd string, jumping Kellen Mond, who started the last game. Joshua Dobbs, it looks like, is going to be Deshaun Watson's backup, but he has not suited up for either of the first 2 games. They just signed him in free agency this year. But for DTR, I mean, coming in as a rookie, kind of a late-round rookie pick from UCLA. I know a lot of hype at UCLA, but he's been really, really impressive, and it sounds like he's probably surpassed Kellen Mond on that depth chart. Could be QB3 right now, could make a run at QB2, so it'll be fun to watch him tonight and kind of see what he does early in this game on NFL Network.
I don't want to scoop our next segment, but are you going to watch that tonight, or you got something else you want to watch?
No, I'll probably watch a little bit of it. I mean,
Big Brother on tonight. You know,
Big Brother
live
also
eviction.
on tonight.
Second eviction. Riley's going home. I'm telling you right now, Riley's going home.
It's looking like Riley's going home. Too bad. Nashvilleian.
Good looking.
So,
she works at Dirk Bentley's bar, Whiskey Row.
Yeah. So shame to see a kind of.
No, she stinks. I'm tired of her. Sick of her.
I think I am too. But no, I'm gonna keep an eye on this. I find myself with preseason games, I'll kind of keep an eye on them. I don't watch them super closely. I'll kind of go back and forth between that and maybe a baseball game, or like on a Saturday when there's a lot of preseason games. I'll jump around from a couple, just kind of see.
I'll watch Josh Allen play.
You watch Josh Allen play for sure. But I like watching these young guys. I like watching the rookies play, especially kind of those late round rookies that you remember from college. That's always...
you love the guys you remember from college. That's what you said.
Yeah, no,
those are your boys.
Those are my boys. I like watching it. I also love it when I don't know that they're on a roster, and I'm like, oh man, look, so and so's with the
look at that
so
guy.
and so's.
Yeah.
So
and so's with the so and so's.
That's right.
I think that's a band actually.
So and
so and the so and so's.
Really?
No.
Good band name. Maybe we should start it.
How about that?
I'm the lead singer though.
Or it could be like Nobody's so and so.
Huh?
Like Hootie and the Blowfish. Jerry Schwarger doesn't like to be called Hootie because he says that I'm not Hootie. That's just the name of the band was Hootie and the Blowfish. No one's Blowfish, no one's Hootie. That's just our band.
But it seems like when you have a name like Hootie and the Blowfish, if you're the lead singer, you're Hootie.
But I'm just saying that's also how we could do so-and-so and the so-and-sos is nobody is so-and-so and no one is the so-and-sos. That's just the name of the band. So-and-so and the so-and-sos.
No, I like that. That's
where my head's at there.
I like it. I like what you're thinking.
Picking up what I'm putting down.
Picking up what you're putting down.
Smelling what I'm stepping in.
That's right. That's gross.
Like dog poop?
Yeah. I saw another story today involving the NFL. Rob Gronkowski, who's obviously been retired.
Missed a field goal last year to win his whole money.
He did. Shame
did he not?
Well, he did. But Rob Gronkowski was on the Up and Adams show on
with Kay Adams.
With Kay Adams on FanDuel.
That's who it was advertised for. FanDuel was who he missed the kick for.
He's partnered with FanDuel. He has some sort of sponsorship with them, or at least did. But Rob Gronkowski was asked, have you thought about maybe coming out of retirement? What would it take to get you out of retirement? And he said there is one coach in the National Football League that could maybe get me out of retirement. If he really tried hard enough, he could maybe get me out of retirement. Any guesses?
Mike Vrabel.
Incorrect.
I don't know then.
Brian Daboll.
Wow, really bad. Is that right, Dave?
That's right. Daboll. So maybe Rob Gronkowski to the Giants.
Is that what you think?
No, I don't think that actually happens. But he's only 34. I think he's still got a little juice in there.
I don't know.
Considered one of the greatest. You could make an argument, one of the greatest tight ends of all time.
Yeah, he's definitely one of the greatest tight ends. You can make an argument he's the greatest tight end of all time.
So I mean, I think there's some juice in there.
You think?
I think so. Why not? Give it another whirl.
I can think of a couple reasons why not.
Why? Give me one.
It hurts to get hit, and he's taken a lot of them.
That's a good reason, I guess.
But, that's not a winner's attitude, Bryant.
No, it's not. Any other reasons you can think
That's
of?
That's the first.
It's only one. So
no, I'm sure there's others if I really gave it a lot of thought, but,
But that's just the one that comes to your mind first.
That's the first one that comes to mind.
Yeah. I am excited kind of when you look at some of the preseason games this weekend. I'm excited to see game number 2 for Trey Lance. I know there's been a lot of talk about him.
Trey Lance has been in the news.
A lot of talk about Trey Lance.
Some people call him Kyler Murray, but not me.
No, never. It would never be you. But there has been talk about if Trey Lance could even make the team, which I think is crazy.
Oh, you think he gets
about.
cut?
I mean, there's been talk about that. I think
USFL quarterback, USFL Showboats quarterback next year.
Ooh, don't get me excited, Jay Morgan. I would love that.
Is that what you were looking for?
No, but I would love that. I didn't even think about that. But that's a great idea. But no, I saw reports a couple weeks ago of some people maybe kind of floating the idea of what if they say, where you're obviously not going to be our starter. You're not going to be our backup. Maybe Sam Darnold impresses. He becomes the backup. And then I think there's an
Or Sam Darnold impresses. He becomes the starter.
Nah, it sounds like Brock Purdy's kind of a lock.
Well, we don't know.
For the starter.
He wasn't the lock for the starter at the start of last season, was he?
That's
so things change, Bryant.
Oh, maybe you're right. But there's a fourth quarterback there that I don't know if he played or not in the first preseason game.
You're talking about Hans Benedict. I made that name up.
Why would you?
I don't know.
I mean, why would you even do that?
It's because it's Thursday and it's 5:40 and I'm tired.
You've been tired all afternoon.
Yeah, it's been a long week, man. I've been talking a lot
today.
I
haven't had much juice today, Jay Morgan. I'll tell you what.
Well, I tell you what. Some days I have to spread it out. You know what I mean? So some days I'll really just be closed off all day, and I'll be saving it for sports time.
You've been closed off this afternoon.
No, and I'll be saving it for sports time.
Right.
But today I really went all in with Dave, and I was going all in with John today too. Mm-hmm. And it's like your stamina bar if you're playing a video game. If it helps you visualize it, there's nothing you can do about it.
Well, can I just tell you something?
Please.
Maybe a little peek behind the curtain.
Yeah.
Dave Lotion. I mean, a veteran. John Harden. A veteran. Brian Dacus, not a veteran.
So it's good work for you.
Rookie. Much rookie.
Good work
Very
for
much
you.
Rookie.
Good work for
Brian
you.
Dacus is. Maybe we need a little more juice.
No. Because
in the afternoons.
I'm working so hard all day.
Uh-huh.
So that you can just be focusing on these 3 hours and have all the juice for the both of us.
I don't know if
I'll bring you more juice tomorrow.
Because it will be a Friday.
Yeah, no, I don't know if I'll bring you more juice tomorrow.
Thanks.
It's been a long weekend. We got a lot of gambling guests tomorrow, though, don't we?
So maybe that will bring the juice back. It's like when you get one of that boost, like a boost to your stamina bar, and maybe Alan Bell comes on, he gives you a little boost with some plays, and then Bruce Marshall comes in, brings it in hot.
Fast and Furious reference, you get a little nitrous, or when you're racing, you get a little nitrous.
Jim, we gotta get picks for Messi coming to Nashville from Bruce Marshall.
Oh, do we?
I mean, do we not?
Do we?
I mean, I'm gonna ask him about it.
Okay, do it.
Coming to Nashville, coming to the state of Tennessee.
They're coming to Nashville.
I'm gonna need some more juice tomorrow.
You want to go get a game? You want to go to the game?
Not for $800 that they're selling the tickets for.
Ooh, did you watch AEW in Nashville last night?
No, did you?
No. but I downloaded it. So we got it.
Was it at Bridgestone? Where did they do it?
I think it was at Bridgestone, if I'm not mistaken.
AEW's big enough to be at Bridgestone. So
Yeah.
I don't know why it wouldn't be.
They've come to Nashville before, but I wish we could have gone. They've come to Memphis once, but it was
South
a long.
Haven, I thought.
Yeah, and it was like their fifth episode or
Like
something.
ever.
Yeah, it might not have even been the TV show. It might have just been their internet show, AEW Dark, which is no longer in existence because they've added 2 more TV shows now at this point. So
this might have just been like an internet only.
yeah, it might have been, but they definitely did it for the internet only, and that might have been all they did actually. Now that I think about it, but I would love it if they came to Memphis because WWE, Raw, and SmackDown come to Memphis every so often.
Wait, one
Raw
of them's
is
coming in a couple weeks.
I think Raw is coming in a couple weeks. I would love to go. I would love to. SmackDown came in like 2022, I think. Wrestling is something that everyone's like, well, you know, it's fake, right? It's dumb. Yeah, but like to go there and see people beat the crap out of each other, even pretend to, or throw each other around, or throw themselves around like on the mat and stuff like that, still is a cool thing to go see in person.
Well, I've also,
it might not be like necessarily a great sporting event,
Right.
but it's a cool thing to go see in person.
I've also heard a lot of people say that like if you're into kind of like the behind the scenes stuff of like how things are made, like the production of it all is kind of cool to watch. Which I know that's right up your alley. But I've heard a lot of people just like people I know that aren't TV and movie addicts like you. I guess that buffs is more flattering.
I don't want to call myself a buff.
Addicts. But I've heard like just people I know that are just like, I'm gonna go see them. They're like, oh, it's really interesting to kind of like watch how it all comes together and the filming of it and all that stuff.
That's a sporting event. You think we get a press pass for that? AEW, AEW does a media scrum. I don't think WWE does any media or anything like that. They control that, but AEW 100% does a media scrum.
Are they all in character during the media scrum?
Yeah. But CM Punk, I don't know if anybody knows who CM Punk is. He was one of John Cena's big rivals back in the day in WWE. He's in AEW, and he was recently suspended for a long period of time for getting in a fight backstage. That was a spill-off from something he said during a media scrum. I guess he got mad during a fight and then said, like, real-life mean things about other people in the locker room that made them all get in an actual fist fight.
Holy cow.
And so a bunch of people got suspended and stuff like that. And so, they are in character and they aren't, I guess is a good way to say that.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I didn't know that they did like actual media scrums.
I don't think AEW does again. I mean, I don't think WWE does, but I know AEW does.
So like they're people that like cover AEW.
I think
and write blogs
and they open
and stuff about it.
Yeah, and they're open to it.
Interesting. That is actually really interesting, I think. But no, I don't know how because they were in Nashville.
And the owner is Tony Khan, who is Shad Khan's son, who's the owner of the Jaguars.
Yeah.
Who's a very interesting looking Iranian man with his funny mustache.
Mm-hmm.
But
one smooth team to London.
Endearing. We don't know that for a fact.
Seems like.
But he's endearing nonetheless. You should. I highly recommend it. Another episode's on tomorrow night. That's AEW Rampage, and they have a collision on Saturday on TNT's.
Interesting.
I can see it advertised 1,000 times. It's impossible to not know when it's on at this point.
It's stuck in the brain after seeing it.
I guess so.
Promoted all over the place. But no,
is that enough juice for you, Brian? I brought some juice right there. That was some juice.
That was like you got that last spurt of that juice. You just got a little remaining. Right. You just got to give it all out at the very end.
Sure do.
But I do want to mention this.
Do it
before we get to a break.
I'd be insulted if you didn't.
Because we were talking about Trey Lance and just kind of a lot of people, talking about issues. He's not made for the NFL. I know a lot of times me and my buddies will talk about that season he had at North Dakota State where he only played 2 games before being drafted. And so how much could you really learn about Trey Lance before that? But this is interesting. Sam Munson from Pro Football Focus put out this tweet a couple days ago. Trey Lance needs playing time. There's no pathway for him to get it right now. In high school, he had 99 pass attempts. In college, 318 pass attempts. In the NFL preseason, 72 pass attempts in NFL preseason. And in the NFL regular season, only 102 passing attempts. In his entire football career, now he says in his entire football career, he has fewer pass attempts than Geno Smith had just last year. Now, I did the math. I think that's slightly off. I think Geno Smith had just a bit more, maybe regular season. Geno had more than his entire career, but it's a good point. Trey Lance just hasn't had a lot of playing time. Now, Sam Monson from PFF goes on to say maybe Trey Lance needs a year or two in the XFL or the USFL.
Wow.
Where he can get a lot. So
that's what I said.
You scooped him.
I did.
I mean, you jumped out in front of it, but I don't know if I agree with that. But it really is interesting, kind of all of the negativity thrown Trey Lance's way when really, even back to high school, which was surprising to me, he just hasn't had a lot of reps.
Okay, well, that also you can criticize him for, though, right?
Can you criticize him for that?
Yeah, I can.
How's that?
It's not that it's like a character flaw to get injured. I'm not saying that, but I can criticize his inability to remain healthy.
That's true. I mean, that's certainly a factor. I mean, people get talked about all the time about they just have they're injury prone, and it's something for a lot of professional players. It stunts their careers.
I'm now imagining it being like a character flaw that I'm holding against you, like not.
Oh, you always get injured.
Yeah.
Hate that guy. He always gets injured. I mean,
Poor character.
But it is interesting to see that not only has he not gotten a ton of reps in college because of COVID or the NFL just because he's been a backup and because of those injuries, that even back in high school he didn't get a ton of pass attempts. But let's go ahead and get to our final break of the day. When we come back, we'll wrap up today's show with Taco Bell Crunch Time.
You already know you can listen to Sports 56 anywhere with the Sports 56 app or at sports56whbq.com. But you can also watch us daily with live video of all of our shows on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
Is your roof leaking? Do you have water damage on your ceiling of your home or business? Do you need assistance gathering much-needed data and images from your storm-damaged roof for an insurance claim? Call Metro Builders, roof and restoration specialists, and schedule your free inspection. At Metro Builders, our team of Hague-certified technicians and fully trained estimators are ready to come out and evaluate any concerns you may have. Metro Builders Roof and Restoration. We accept all insurance carrier scopes. Call Metro Builders now. Each and every day, we provide clients many different types of data and estimates for their insurance carrier. These include estimate and photo reports of all damage, from the roof to water damage on rafters and ceilings and even studs and plates inside walls. Check out the local BBB for our 27-year history in construction in Memphis, or check us out online today at metrobuildersmemphis.com. That's metrobuildersmemphis.com for your local residential and commercial roofing and restoration experts. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home at Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
Hotsy Pressure Washers and Detail Supplies of Memphis takes it all off. They are the #1 cleaning and equipment provider, period. Big or small, Hotsy has the solution. From hot water and cold water pressure washers to industrial soaps and detail supplies, Hotsy has you covered. For our Sports 56 fans, you get 20% off all detail products, so don't miss out on this amazing deal. Call Hotsy today, 901-379-0550, or visit their showroom, conveniently located at Austin P and I-40.
Do you have heart failure and often hear,
"Those stomach issues ruined your birthday"?
"You're too tired to play catch, Grandpa."
Sweetie, you haven't touched your tools since the carpal tunnel syndrome diagnosis.
If these seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, talk to your cardiologist. Ask about transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy, or ATTR-CM. a rare and underdiagnosed disease that gets worse over time. Learn more at connecttoyourheart.com. That's connecttoyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
The Gossett Mitsubishi Summer Sales Event is still going strong at Gossett Mitsubishi on the Pike. Whatever vehicle needs you may be wishing for, we've got you covered at Gossett Mitsubishi. 41 MPG highway that can turn on a dime, that's 2023 Mitsubishi Mirage G4. $17,395 or $249 a month. 2024 Eclipse Cross combines luxurious styling with cutting-edge technology, generous cargo room, and versatility. $29,100 or $399 a month. And the powerful and fun-to-drive 2023 Mitsubishi Outlander. $29,580 or $499 a month. And you'll always get peace of mind with Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. That's Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike, or shop 24/7 at memphismitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 500 military rebate, G4 PH 06839, MSRP 17895, Cross RZ 00688, MSRP 29850, Outlander PZO 59809, MSRP 30080, includes all rebates and incentives, PF 695, excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit, dealer stock only.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
A little summer drive adventure is all yours in one of the hot new all-star Chevys. Olive Branch is where all the Chevys are. Silverados for sure. They have financing as low as 1.9 on most of the new Silverados, and your good credit deserves it, and you'll get it at All-Star. Trail Boss, High Country, and you can see Kevin or Jeff to order any custom Silverado or any new Chevy you want. Drive one of these Tahoes or Equinox. That'll be a sweet last summer drive for any adventure. If you want a certified pre-owned Chevy or any pre-owned, All-Star's loaded up with Silverados, Corvette Stingrays. And if it's not at All-Star, just ask Jeff and he'll find it for you. And Jeff and Kevin told me to thank all of you. Brought your cars, your trucks, your SUVs to All-Star to sell. Thank you to everyone who've been bringing their cars and trucks down to All-Star to sell. You can even get a check for some crazy great cash today. Remember, it's not South Haven, not Mount Moriah or Bartlett or Collierville. It's got to be Olive Branch. Find new roads to All-Star Chevy today or go to allstarautogroup.com.
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy!
This is for all the biggest crunch time.
You are looking live. In your life have you seen anything like that? Goodbye! Hello, Haskins.
It's obviously crunch time.
Hammer, nail, coffin, this baby is over.
The double steak grilled cheese burrito, so good. Double the steak with nacho cheese sauce, seasoned rice, red strips, sour cream, and the 3-cheese blend wrapped inside a warm flour tortilla, with even more 3-cheese blend grilled on the top. The double steak grilled cheese burrito, it hits the spot now at Taco Bell. And at Taco Bell, when they say they are feeding people's lives with unexpected good, they mean it. Bowl food you can't get anywhere else.
Well, what I learned today about an hour ago, Jason Munns reported that David Jones, who's been playing with the Dominican national team, has officially signed with the University of Memphis. There were some question marks around. He had to get some things cleared up academically to be able to sign with the University of Memphis. It looks like he's gotten all of that taken care of, and he will officially be part of the Memphis basketball roster.
Same.
What I could have done without is that the United States women's national team head coach, Violato, well, I forgot. I don't know how to say it. I'm not even going to try. The pronunciation.
How come this guy goes, but we still got this clown Greg Berhalter coaching the men's team?
Well, I'll be honest. The women's national team, I mean, some of those decisions, I'm not a huge soccer
this guy Berhalter, though, please.
But I'm not a soccer guy, but after every single game, I would hear people talk about just the awful coaching decisions by this coach for the women's national team. So, I mean, it was tough to watch how bad they were. But so I guess I'm glad he's gone, but I could have done without that performance in the World Cup.
Same.
Were you beaming? Or you want me to go first where I'm beaming?
Yeah, I kind of forgot to pick a beam.
Huh,
Where
well-
you beam? Go ahead and beam. And I'll think.
I'll beam tonight. How about let's go to this matchup that we talked about earlier? D-back Zach Gallen, Padres Rich Hill on the mound. Someone earlier, a handicapper, said that he liked the Padres tonight against Zach Gallen, but I really like what Zach Gallen's done. Let's see if this guy's right. Let's go watch. Let's beam there.
Do you like back in the Padres? I do not like
never.
the Padres. Did the Tigers end up winning today? Did they cover the 1.5?
The Detroit Tigers?
Yeah.
They haven't played yet.
Oh, they didn't?
tonight.
I thought
They're about-
Skewball played a day.
No.
It started at 4 or something
6
like
o'clock,
that?
6
I'm
o'clock.
sorry.
Could be on Fox. Either that game's on Fox or Cardinals are on
Cardinals.
Fox against the Mets. So
We'll see.
should be a very kind of tiny slate of baseball games
Mini
tonight.
slate.
Mini slate.
Mate.
So a couple games there. We also have NFL preseason tonight, which will be
I could
a
beam
lot
there,
of
I
fun.
guess.
Huh?
I could beam there.
To
I
the
guess.
NFL game? Why not?
How about we
6:30?
beam to LA for the live eviction special on Big Brother starting at 8 o'clock on
Big Brother.
CBS?
Bye-bye, Riley.
There's at 7 o'clock on CBS.
7 o'clock, I think.
That's what I said.
I don't know. I could be wrong, but that's all.
7 o'clock on CBS.
7 is that we know for sure?
No.
Okay.
But just tune into CBS. It'll either
It'll
on
be
at
on
7
at
or
some
8.
point.
Yeah.
You'll see it at some point. But that's all the time we have. Enjoy your night. We'll talk to you again tomorrow.